together as we initiate chaos theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness, not only another. It's full steam ahead, full steam ahead. All about the Petty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Petty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys, we are waiting for court to start. They were starting a little later today. Now, I forgot completely about daylight savings time and springing forward, but they usually start at 9:30, not 10:30. So maybe the judge had something on his docket he couldn't get out of. Not quite sure, but we will be starting now. According to what the state said last week, they are looking to rest their case either at the end of today or morning tomorrow. So we might be starting verdict watch maybe by the end of this week. Personally, I don't foresee the defense's entire case taking more than 2 days maximum. But I could be very wrong. They could have a lot of things going on, and then they'll have the, of course, talk with Kouri, whether she's going to be testifying or not. No, the pretty model is not on the stand. I believe, Detective O'Driscoll we might get today. I know we haven't, heard from Detective Woody or Detective O'Driscoll, and we also haven't, gotten the walk the dog letter. So, I'm guessing those will be on the agenda today, along with anything else that the state feels like they want to bring in. I will say it's interesting that that we're at the end of the state's case without the kind of smoking gun. I do wonder if we're going to find out why the tweezers are important today. The state's made a big deal about the fact that they did a extra search very close to the trial that found that jacket with the piece of plastic and tweezers in it. So I hope they make sense of why that was there. I'm kind of racking my head as to, who what else we're going to hear about from the state, um, and I wonder how the cross is going to be. The defense has been, well, shambolic is a word. They haven't been good on cross. Even the, very beautiful woman, that they had, the model that they kind of had her on her direct, since she lived in California, I don't think they got a lot out of her. Now, I do believe we're also going to be learning more from the state about what actually went on at that wake. I do feel like we're gonna hear from Pantsless Man, Cody something or other, um, because the state was alluding to we were gonna see video from the wake where allegedly one of the mourners lost their pants, as you do. So it'll be interesting to see how Corey's demeanor was when, she was supposed to be mourning her husband. And I'm not one of those people that thinks that grief should require, a veil and crying or, you know, sitting a period of time in your house to do the required grief dance or what have you. But there are certain things that I think that if you deeply loved your husband and if this wasn't the shock of your life, I don't think you'd be doing. I don't know that I didn't have the wherewithal to throw a party the same evening. Now, we were in very different places in our lives, but there I'm not one to police grief, but this is definitely odd. And yeah, that's the truth. I mean, that kind of thing, doing doing life-affirming things like, sleeping together is kind of, so I'm not one to police grief, but uh, I don't think Kouri illustrated anything like grief. And it's been really noticeable that all of her arguments seem to be for her. I think it would have been an incredibly different case if from the get-go Kouri had been, "I wanna make sure my sons are protected. I don't care if I have anything named in the house. I wanna make sure my sons are protected." Now that didn't happen, but I've rarely ever heard her bring up the boys, and it bothers me beyond measure because
We're on the
there
record
was
at
nothing I didn't do
231-500.
without thought that I'm the only parent that my kiddos have now. So it was such a grounding stability, gravity in my life that I can't imagine being a mom in the same circumstances and wanting to party. But I'm not a social cat, so maybe Kouri is. Why am I trying to give this woman grace?
139. Counsel over the state and defense are present. Defendant is present. Some
Ooh,
things to
she's wearing
discuss.
black.
A couple of motions filed last night. We also need to discuss jail calls and the other information that'll be coming in through Detective O'Driscoll. Let's start with schedule. Mr. Bloodworth, who are the state's anticipated witnesses today?
Your Honor, Kouri Wright, Matthew Throckmorton, Jamie Woody, Todd Gabler, and then if we get there, Jeff O'Driscoll.
With as many witnesses as they were talking, about, I do foresee this, the state resting probably mid-afternoon tomorrow, just with the amount of cross that is going to be going, and, I don't know who you are, ma'am, but I want a wig like your hair. Just gonna move this. No, move, tag on. Okay. Anywho, this chick's hair. I would like your hair or a wig that looks like it.
There's probably a lengthy discussion regarding the state's motions and defendants' positions regarding the jail calls, the interview transcript that we need to have prior to Detective O'Driscoll. Is that your sense of it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if we're going to have that before he gets on the stand, we're going to have it today, which means he's probably not getting on the stand today.
Agree.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, you're the one looking at me, so I'll just ask you, does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we'll plan to at least begin, if not have that discussion sometime today. Then, let's see, the state filed a motion regarding exhibits 8-57R and 8-63R. Need to make sure I give defendant an opportunity to respond to that. Ms. Lewis, what are your thoughts?
No, I believe those are the videos. Is that correct? The videos of the interviews with Carmen? I wasn't sure what they were.
It's the
It's 857
consistent
through
portions.
63.
My apologies. That's right.
And we've submitted the transcript, but of course, a video would be redacted once we make a decision based on the transcript.
Okay. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't see the specific if those are the redacted. Wasn't able to look at them. I just saw that.
They're all filed as separate docket entries.
There's this 6 Carmen Laba interviews involving Summit County Sheriff's Office and 1 involving the United States Attorney's Office. And these are redacted portions of those 6 interviews used to rehabilitate Carmen Laba.
Okay. I guess I need to look at the redacted version. I didn't realize that. I was looking through.
Ma'am, do you even read the emails? This is the second or third time that the state has sent you something, and you're like, I wasn't aware. Like, ma'am, look, I understand. Baker will be proud of me. I spent this weekend while I was crying watching Encanto. I was also cleaning out my inboxes for my various emails. So now I can understand why I don't do it, but I don't have a professional-ish job as, like, a lawyer.
What the state files in box to get to us, and it wasn't in there when I was looking at it yesterday evening. So,
We haven't had a
these are
close-up
the
yet.
attachments to the motion that was filed over the
and
weekend.
we have the same objection to the motion. I mean, it's the same objection. I will have to look at the redacted version, but
I'm not sure what you mean by same objection, but let's not spend time on that now. The state
Where did Kouri's murder meatball go? Where did it go? She killed it. The only innocent part of her body that was trying to escape, and she killed it. Is there no level you won't sink to, ma'am? We were rooting for Murder Meatball. We were gonna get him exonerated.
is designating specific portions, a very limited subset of the 900 pages of combined
All right.
transcript, as consistent statements to rebut a charge.
I was
of either
about
recent
there. I've gotten it down to
fabrication or
1,000.
Pressure to change her testimony. I'm going to have to make a ruling regarding each of them.
okay, I'll read them. The
Uh,
redacted versions. Sorry,
okay.
I misunderstood what was filed.
So that's that. What's a reasonable time to have that conversation, Ms. Lewis?
I'm gonna try and look at them this morning. I don't know, let me pull them up and then maybe
Okay.
at the break we can talk about that.
I'm not okay. We'll check back in about that. I had them to bring it in. It's
Tyler Robinson, are you watching? This defense team of Nestor and Lewis seem perpetually ill-prepared. You have, to date, last time I checked, 10 terabytes of just digital evidence. I would be a little worried.
this much paper, and so it may be more than you can do between now and the lunch break, but let's be reasonable. Mr. Bloodworth.
All right.
Your Honor, I think that's a prerequisite to having a full discussion on Jeff O'Driscoll's testimony.
Is that true? Why is that true? Why don't
Well,
those issues stand alone or stand independently?
Your Honor, they do stand independently, but Jeff O'Driscoll will likely be the state's last witness. We would then move or, then use those exhibits as part of his direct examination.
That makes sense to me. Okay. I understand that. Okay. Let's see. Defendant's motion for mistrial regarding the alleged Giglio violation that was mentioned on the record. I asked defendant to file that in writing. They did. It's docket 1691. Need to give the state an opportunity to respond to that. What's reasonable, Mr. Bloodworth?
Your Honor, state can respond right now.
I'm going to need some details that I'm not sure you can provide right now. Even if you can, having it in writing would help me keep it all straight, even if it's just the factual position about what was provided when.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that
We dedicate this stream to Murder Meatball. We barely knew ye. The best part of Kouri. You will be missed.
state disagrees on the facts
Okay.
laid out in the defense's motion, but we can provide something to the court in writing tomorrow morning.
That's fine. And if that's the case, it sounds like it won't be burdensome to produce it or to draft it.
No, Your Honor, it's not too burdensome.
Okay. Sounds good.
Your Honor, just maybe a heads up. Can I refer to the court to State v. Bisner? That will feature in the state's response.
I look forward to reading it after I get your response.
Understood.
Okay. Very good. Then, Ms. Lewis, there's also the oral motion for mistrial that you made at sidebar regarding references to quote unquote charges in State's Exhibit 2-46. That was on March 5. We provided a curative instruction to the jury on that. Is that something your defendant is standing by, or is that motion withdrawn?
I have a minute.
This is your motion. You should know what's going on. Holy crap.
It's 2-46.
This is the video, the audio recording, the two-part audio recording that was played. It's a recorded telephone conversation.
Oh,
Your client used the word charges. I instructed the jury that referred to civil
That's right.
litigation.
that motion's withdrawn.
Okay. Brittany, can you make a note of that in the minutes? All right. Okay. That's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis?
No.
Okay. I've already forgotten the order of witnesses. Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
And just confirming, you've reminded Mr. Wright of the bounds of the court's prior ruling regarding his testimony.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
No. Oh, well, that simplifies that. We're going to take a 5-minute break and locate the juror who has not yet arrived. All right, very good.
Okay.
We'll be recessed for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Apparently, we're attempting to find the wandering juror. And that brings us up to current. So apparently, if they find the juror, that would be great. And welcome, Broken Baker Raiders. You are actually here just in time. Apparently, one of the jurors is missing, so they are waiting on a missing juror to start trial. Now, it does appear that the defense is going forward with their motion for mistrial due to undisclosed Gilio. Yes, they do daylight savings time. I had to look it up this morning when I was talking to Nick. Yes, so we are just waiting for them to find the juror. Now, we are on either the last day or the day before the last day of the state's testimony or the state's case. So this will be interesting. It looks like the first person on the stand is going to be Kouri Richins. I believe he said Cody, and I believe that was Eric's partner in the stonemasonry business. I'm trying to keep all of the I'm trying to keep all of the people on track, but I have look, y'all, to be really honest with you, I forgot about daylight savings time. I have been all kerfuffled since yesterday. I woke up at 8 a.m. in the morning, and y'all, I don't sleep till 8. And then Mr. Mo reminded me of daylight savings time, so I am still all kerfuffled and a little discombobulated. Now, the state has said that they are either going to be ending either today, but it looks like because of a lot of the legal challenges that the defense is going to have with the final lead detective, we're probably going to be looking at tomorrow, and I would guess mid-morning, even before lunch. And let's see. Question: in movies and such, jurors stay in hotels. Is that a false narrative? I believe if they are sequestered, and that is fairly rare. I think the last case that was sequestered was the Delphi case. They were taken to hotels. But as far as that being typical, that's not a typical move. Now, if it's a high profile or they're worried about security, they can do that. But to my knowledge, I believe Delphi was the last case in modern times where I've heard of people being sequestered. Now, they might have been sequestered in the Rittenhouse. I cannot remember, or there was talk of possibly, but I do remember Delphi is the only one that I have absolute knowledge that they were sequestered. Yeah, yeah. Is it bad to plot world domination based solely on destruction of daylight savings time? Like, I have other ideas about changing the world for a better place, but my main platform is just to stop, like, time shenanigans. Because Nick and I were both trying to figure out if, since we sprang forward, what that meant in Sweden. And we're not math people, we are not mathologists. Now it will be interesting to see how the defense runs their case. We've seen, the kind of parade of family members. We saw the Canero defense try to do that. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a lot of character witnesses and then a couple of experts that might, dispute the validity of, you know, where the fentanyl might have come or again, I have been through this. I understand that families don't like to admit that their loved one had a problem. So it is not beyond the realm of possibility for me to understand that maybe Eric's family doesn't, if he did, was shown to have an issue, they didn't want it paraded out. I just don't understand everything else with this. This doesn't seem to make sense. And I will say that the after week 1, the state has done a much better job. The defense hasn't really changed, and I wonder, again, if that's going to be something that now I know Kathy Nestor and, Miss Lewis are working on the Tyler Robinson case. I'm wondering if they are realizing that they are going to be handling a lot more, material, and they're going to need to do more have more people on there because I have rarely seen a defense so ill prepared. And I'm not there. It's easy for me to judge. I'm in my comfy chair with the heater on, so I get that. But I was expecting more from the state, to be honest, and from the defense. And living life with FND. I'm still perplexed since I moved back to Indiana and we were on Eastern time and my family's in the little nugget of the state that stays on Central time. Yeah, it's been painful to watch them not even lay foundation. Falanos, it's a different kind of unprepared. They're not as unprepared as those 2, but it's like they've learned to skate forward. They have a level of professionalism and they're able to coherently get questions out sometimes, but they are following along the same pattern of asking the state's questions over again and then trying to get into stuff that was already ruled on in motions in limine. So it's very much like a redux of the Canero defense almost. Although with the interesting, addition to my client's not dumb enough, which has already kind of been put, my client's not dumb enough to kill her own husband and then call the cops, which has been said. We have the addition of Eric was worth more to her alive than he was dead, which is gonna be a weird thing to try to argue. Now it does seem that Eric was guilty of infidelity in the marriage as well, and as much as everyone has gotten on to Kouri about cheating, look, it's not illegal to cheat on your spouse. It's a craptastical thing to do. I don't agree with it. It's one of my big no-nos, and I think that's why people have kind of reactions, but Nick Mercado was right, on the level of, like, Kim Kardashian, she's not like, she doesn't have an illicit video of herself out there that I'm aware of. What I will say is it does show that she is okay breaching trusts of all kinds, and I don't know what the jury's going to do with this. I mean, she is in Utah. I don't know if that's going to be something that maybe in California or maybe a more liberal or less conservative area wouldn't be a mark against her as such. But I do wonder if and again, these are going on my kind of presumptions, as someone who's not been to Utah, that Utah is more of a conservative area, I would guess, that this might be a very bad mark on her character, whereas, in other localities, it might not mean a hill of beans. Those are the wild things about juries that you can't quite predict. And I do foresee that going forward with these high profile, these science or, Anne, Stanek, I'm trying to according to Kouri, he had an emotional affair. Now, I do understand that this comes from Kouri, but I'm also trying to not assume that Eric was perfect in the marriage just because he's not here. Um, so I'm trying to lay out the facts as she said them with the knowledge that she's the one that said them, but that's my guess. If she was so prolifically good at business, I don't understand why she shouldn't just leave. I mean, if she was so great, just leave. Yeah, she did say he had to go to anger management, and on the phone call with, I believe, the first person that's going to be coming on the stand, Cody, um, she did talk about him having or Eric going to live at his dad's for 2 weeks or them when he was going out with someone. Again, marriages are complicated. You get out of marriage what you put into marriage, and that's a hard thing to learn. It's not a box full of compassion and guidance and love and Hallmark stuff. No, it's a box you fill up with those things, and then you can take them out on bad days, but it doesn't just, you know, happen. An emotional affair, this is just a woman that he talked to. Yeah, so I don't know the validity of Eric cheating, but I will put out there that there were allegations on both sides. Now, I think we can pretty much say that Corey did have an affair with, Josh. We haven't gotten any validation on Eric's, but there have been claims made. And old line read, I don't take much of what she says honestly. She said she owned $11 million in property. Yeah, it's just, it is interesting that even though she spouts this to everyone in a sundry, deep down, she knew it was a bald faced lie, as indicated by, well, she's on trial. But it is really interesting. And I hope that more and more parents are having real conversations with their kids, girls and boys, about what marriage really is. It's not the party, it's not the wedding, it's not the cake, it's not the honeymoon. It's looking at the person next to you during your darkest day and saying, "Okay, this sucks, but we're going to sit here together and figure it out." That's what that is. It's not, it's realizing that your life is, mac and cheese and hamburger helper and not, steaks every night and being okay with it and working so that one day when the kids are all grown, you guys can have a steak or 2. That's what it is. It's not it's not the movies, but you have to be more mature, and I don't think Corey's matured past 14. It would be interesting to delve into her real family history and see how a personality like hers kind of forms. That's what interests me. I would love to see how the combination and what she put in her story, whether or not it was real, how that became her perception of her childhood, how she began to construct her personality and her facets of personality and coping mechanisms is interesting to me. It would be interesting to see what all came together that created her very callous, crass, callow kind of personality, because I don't think it's not normal. We are a social species. We are inherently some level of empathic as a species just because we're social. But you do have these outliers who can turn on and off empathy for people, and it's very fascinating to me. I'm a nerd. It's what I do. Okay, where the hell did this juror go? Did the juror, like, run away to Spain? It's like, we have a runaway Nick's gonna come on and he's be like, "What did you guys do?" And be like, "We were waiting for a juror." Jen, I have not read her book. I read her text messages, which is why I still contend she's an author. I believe Corey is now 38-ish? I'll have to look. Yeah, I can't believe she was I would be 9.5 pounds because when I get nervous and anxious, I don't eat, and I kind of tend to flitter around. So I would be all of 17 pounds. But how do you hide that you're in this much debt? How do you lie to someone you sleep next to most nights? That's the part I couldn't get into, 'cause, y'all, I suck around Christmas time. Like, I didn't even wait for Valentine's Day to give Mr. Mo his Valentine's Day gift. That's the sneaking around it for me is like gifts. I am the worst because I try to find, like, something someone really, really likes, and then I get so excited because I wanna see them like it, that it's hard for me to wait for, like, Christmas or, a birthday. So, yeah, I usually have to tell Mr. Mo, like, "Look, don't look at me, and if I'm drunk, stay away from me because I will tell you stuff." I will have to look at her book. I will tell you though, it actually kind of breaks my heart that her book turns out to be a lie because you guys know, but I was glad that maybe some I was glad that she was writing a book because I was hoping that, you know, unfortunately I realize it's going to happen that maybe for the Mama Mo who's out there in 24 and just lost her significant other, there was going to be a book so she wouldn't have to feel as lost and alone and confused about what to tell kiddos like I did. That was my hope for the book. I was hoping I was actually kind of excited, when the book came out and Corey was kind of doing her media thing because I thought, "You know what? I just didn't have the emotional bandwidth to make a book," but there aren't a lot of books out there to try to make sense of what death actually means for kiddos when, it's hard for us to even figure out what it means as adults. So I was actually really kind of glad because I was hoping that, somewhere out there, if there was another Mo that had her world broken up, she could go to a library and have a book she wouldn't have to come up with something herself. There would be something there or a dad, was there. If a parent or an aunt or an uncle was there and needed to explain this to a kid, there would be more resources because it was super hard to try to figure that out. And, you know, it's not a, totally everyday situation that they have a lot of advice about it. Now, what I will say is explain to kids in a way that they understand and keep it age appropriate. I, for a long time, didn't have very nice things to say about my late husband, so I didn't say anything or I didn't say anything at all. But I also didn't let people say not nice things about him in front of my girls. That was one of my rules. I'm not Oprah, I'm not Jesus, I'm not saying it happened all the time, but that was one of my rules. I also explained that their dad's spirit was sick because they could understand that, you get sick like you get a cold. Well, I explained that sometimes sicknesses hurt our heart or our spirit. And sometimes we just can't fix that on earth, so we have to go to heaven. So for many years, that's what they knew. Now that they've gotten older into teenage years, I can talk to them more about, hey, oh, you might have addictive personality traits in your past. You need to worry about this. This is, something that is in your genetic line, but doesn't have to be a life sentence. So if you struggle with things or you have more questions, I can answer them. Now, the reality is that my kiddos are probably not ever gonna know exactly what went on in my marriage because that's not for them to know. Now, if they have specific questions, I'll try to answer them truthfully, but that's what I did, and I wandered through, and I think families will find their own way. But I was kind of really upset when I found out that, of course, she turns out to be a true crime, well, reject, but for a little bit there, I was excited she had written a book. Do they even sell it still? I don't even know where one would find that book. I'll have to look. Maybe Amazon will have it. Not Amazon, maybe eBay. Pretty much, pretty much. It's just, and if they had questions, I would answer them, but I didn't make it a big, big thing, and I feel guilty about that. I look, there is no right way to deal with grief. There's no right way to parent. You just do what's right for your family, and you hope that you did a good job. You try to, do that. Eh, yeah, I can. And I'm with you. I definitely think that the sister definitely has an axe to grind, and I think we can understand that. Um, eh, so I kind of went in here realizing that people are people, so I figured Eric's family was going to try to, well, dump her in front of a train, figuratively speaking, or a bus, or a train of buses.
31500 We now have all the jurors. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor, but before we call Cody Wright, the state was going to publish 8-8. That's the exhibit that we had held off on publishing to blur some faces on.
Very good. Remind me what's depicted in it. I can't quite remember.
Your Honor, it's about a 35-second video from a gathering on March the 5th, 2022, that shows the defendant, Chelsea, Barney, Bryce Knutson, and others.
Celebrating.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, I think I've already ruled on any objections to that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we'll start in that way. I'll have you introduce it and just offer it again.
Okay.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, anything before we invite the jury in? Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I will say during the first week of trial, it was kind of like, why does everyone have such a big hate boner for Kouri? And then we learn all of the things that she did, and it's kind of like, oh, I get it.
Please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We'll continue with additional evidence from the state. Mr. Bloodworth.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, on Thursday, the court took testimony from Chelsea Gibson, who referenced a celebration on March the 5th, 2022, and the state was redacting some children's faces from the video. The state now moves that exhibit 8-8 into evidence and moves to publish it.
Chelsea Barney, correct?
Barney. Did I say Gibson again?
Yes, sorry. Chelsea Barney, March 5, 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let me get that up.
I believe Eric was LDS. Didn't he have now I know someone's mission journal was under contention, so I believe he was, but I don't believe he was practicing, if that makes sense. So I don't think he was keeping all of the tenets, but loosely maybe, because he wasn't. I don't believe drinking and other things are considered kosher. So that's my answer to that. Yes, I think he was born into it. Was he living by the tenets? No. I don't know. It took a long time for them to find. He might have been getting the meatball to freedom to the Canadian border.
Can you folks see that okay? Very good. Scott, please proceed.
And it does have some audio on that, John, but it's not what it sounds like.
It has some audio, but
It's not coming through. It doesn't sound like.
All right.
Is she shotgunning a Coca-Cola? Because that looks like a Coca-Cola can. Am I wrong? Like, I'm not a big drinker, y'all, so maybe there's another red can.
I don't know why that is. Scott, let's try again.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we admitted this through alley staking, not Chelsea Barney.
Understood. Scott, would you pause? Would you disconnect and reconnect, and we'll just start over? Check the settings on your end, please.
I'll do it.
Tech Stash to the rescue. Thank you, Prince of Wales. My dyslexic friend was painting his private Saturday night, and I said, no, you're supposed to turn your clock back.
I'm getting all free.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, come back in the corner.
Damn Saylight table.
Richard, yep.
Richard.
Look, Chachi still going. Ron, take that all sexy out of here.
Oh. You're Afghanistan warrior.
You know what I'm doing when I'm grieving, drinking with my friends, remembering a friend? I always like to shotgun something and laugh and giggle so, people know I'm having fun. Now, I'm not saying this is crazy, but maybe not in front of the kids. Maybe we don't drink and laugh and giggle and talk about how this, on good Lord.
You are an Afghanistan warrior.
Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state calls Kouri Richins.
I will lie and tell everyone that my good Lord. y- so this is very reminiscent. Now, I haven't covered this story. I want to eventually, but this is an older story. I cannot remember her name, but she alleged that an intruder came into her house and took the lives of her 2 young sons. And then she had like a party at their gravesite 2 weeks later. That's giving me real that vibes.
Mr. Wright, good morning. If you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you. Have a seat.
Please proceed.
Good morning, sir. What, sir, is your name?
Kouri Wright.
Spelled W-R-I-G-H-T?
Yep,
Did you know Eric Richins?
I did.
How?
Eric was a really good friend of mine and also business partner. Met him in high school. He was an acquaintance of my brother. Met him through him. Became good friends through the hunting world. He was a rancher. I liked hard work. He loved hard work. And we became friends almost immediately through that. That led to a lifelong of events together and fun together and work together. We had a lot of good times. Shortly after I met him, he came to work for a family business as a hod tender. Got to teach him what hod tending is all about and hard work that way, which was fun. We both served LDS missions shortly after that, came home, continued to work together through that family business. In 2010, we decided that it was time to separate from that business and start our own. We started our own masonry company together. And that was another journey in and of itself. It was fun.
Is that masonry company C&E?
Yes, C&E Stone Masonry.
Is that for Cody and Eric?
Yes. And we worked in that masonry company together for almost 12 years, 11 and a half years or so.
How often would you see him when running your company together?
See him a couple times a week, probably. We ate lunch fairly often. In the fall, I saw him a lot as we were out in the hills and doing fun stuff, whether it be on the ranch or up in the mountains. We spent a lot of time together in the fall. We spent a lot of lunches together while we worked and things like that, but talked to him pretty much every day on the phone if I didn't see him.
When you talk about spending a lot of time together in the fall, is that hunting?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time.
About how many days each fall would the two of you hunt together?
We would spend the end of August and most of September and sometimes October and sometimes November and sometimes that bled into December, January, and February. But
And would you
quite a few days.
would you travel together to hunt?
Yes. Yes, we went on different trips as well.
What was Eric's personality?
Eric's feisty. Eric's hardworking. Eric's the life of the party. Eric's funny. Depends where he's at and what he's doing. He can be very fun to be around, very comforting at times, and also
Yeah, he's not even able to use the past tense yet. This is very striking. He's saying everything as though Eric is still here, and um, i- it's interesting to see how. And again, I try not to judge other people's grief, but Kouri seemed to have gotten over hers. Maybe it's very under the surface.
he can tell you what you've done wrong and make sure that you knew that it was wrong and that should have been done differently. And so, good personality.
What was he like personality-wise in business?
Business, he was serious. He took that very serious. That was one of the things that he was very passionate about. He wanted to grow C&E. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to do the best he could with that. He came from a background of hard work and business as well, and saw that and wanted to replicate that from his parents, I'm sure. But he was very serious when it came to business, wanted to make sure that things were done right and wanted to grow that business.
Were you able to interact with Eric and his boys?
Yes.
What are some examples of that?
One that comes to mind was he asked me, I did a lot of baseball growing up. I pitched in particular, and he asked me to work with Carter with some pitching lessons. We went over and worked with Carter and helped him learn how to pitch. That was one that comes to mind.
What was Eric like as a father?
Competitive, dedicated. He wanted to know what my kids were up to so he could tell me what his kids were up to and how well they were doing as well. He wanted his kids to be the best on the team. He wanted them to succeed. He wanted to make sure that I knew that how well they'd done over the weekend and how good they were doing in all their sports.
What was your business relationship in C&E?
We were 50-50 partners. So we were, I ran half the business, he ran half the business, although that wasn't like a perfectly straight line, right? We did paver, stone, tile work. I took care of tile and paver work. Eric took care of the stonework side. So we did have it split. to where he took care of his projects. I took care of mine. We overlapped in the bookwork end of things or in the administration side of things. But as far as work went, he had relationships with people that I didn't. And so he would take care of those clients and I would take care of others.
How many people did C&E employ in early 2022?
Approximately 90.
And about how many projects at any given time was C&E running?
When Eric passed, I obviously stepped into a full-time role in that whole business. I remember counting 47 projects.
What was C&E's business outlook in early 2022?
Good. It was great. Business was good and business continued to be good and was projecting upward. Each year we'd done a little bit more and it was definitely on its way up.
Did you and Eric have any plans for the business before he passed?
We had, I'm more conservative than Eric was. And so my plan was always to just be okay with where we were at. Eric's plan was, let's grow this thing and keep going. And I was like, good with where we were at a lot of the time. He definitely was very motivated to continue to do more and more and be better and bigger and better.
Did C&E have an office?
It had my house and a small office at Eric's house. We both had home offices. And so we ran the business from his office and my office at our residential home.
Did Eric use a C&E computer?
Yes.
Did he keep that at his home office?
Yes.
Did you and Eric have a C&E email account?
Yes.
How did that work?
It was a joint email. If you know him or I, you know that we're not technology people. And so one email was enough to handle. So we had one email that we both would look into, that all of our emails would come through. That way we could make sure that we were taking care of each other as well. That seemed to work. And so that's what we did.
Did C&E receive its America First Credit Union bank statements by email?
Yes.
Are you generally familiar with Kouri Richins Realty?
Generally familiar.
Did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins Realty?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Eric called me, was distraught. I said that some things had happened in their home that
Object to hearsay.
Sustained, please rephrase. Or just keep moving.
Yeah,
Your Honor, please.
lawyer.
Sure.
Oh, we're at sidebar. Now, Monday and Wednesday, I do have to pick up the boys. So if we get to 100 on a Monday or a Wednesday, I will have to, I will owe you guys a shot, but I will do one. I probably should actually buy alcohol now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, this is a witness that you can tell that losing Eric has really bothered him. They're going to need to be very careful. She's dressed up as Gilbert Grape, so I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know what that is. But that sounds like a mix of, look, let's be real. Mo cuts all of her booze with Diet Sprite. It's not like we need anything fancy to get her tipsy. Oh, I was like, oh, I can just I can fast forward for right now, but after this, we have utilized all of our fast forward powers.
Sir, did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins' business?
yes.
How did C&E without saying anything that Eric told you, how did C&E assist Kouri Richins' business?
There was a loan that was needed to be had for that business that was asked for, where C&E would provide the funds to fund a project, and C&E did provide those funds.
Was that a loan rather than an investment?
It was a loan.
Was it?
Corey, who the hell do you think you're mean mugging? I'm sorry, but she is like a dachshund that doesn't understand she's a dachshund or a chihuahua, and she is trying to mean mug like a Rottweiler who's not paying attention. I mean, ma'am, no one is afraid of your eyebrows, and now that the murder meatball is free, we really don't care. So
In extraordinary circumstances that caused C&E to loan Kouri Richins money?
There was a need for that loan. There was a need for that money to make sure that financial things were going to happen for reimbursement.
And
I know.
was that
Why are we trying to dance around the fact that it's already been entered into evidence that she took out the $250,000 home equity loan? Why do we continue to dance around it if it's already, or are there more things that she stole that that haven't been brought in?
related to a K. Richins Realty project on Franson Lane?
Yes.
And was that in October of 2020?
Yes. Please.
And was that approximately $200,000?
Approximately.
Are you familiar with a buy-sell agreement that you and Eric had in place should anything happen to either of you?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the New York life insurance policy, a set of New York life insurance policies that were associated with that buy-sell agreement?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the series of beneficiary changes to the New York life policy on your life in January of 2022?
I was told those happened.
Did you make those beneficiary changes to your New York life policy in January of 2022?
I did not.
Did you ever make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Did you ever observe Eric Richins make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Your Honor,
Of course.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness with Exhibit 8-49. It's some handwriting exemplars I think everyone's familiar with. Then I need to lay some foundation on. So can you please turn to tab 2?
You.
It's 849. It's the exemplar.
No, I believe that she was taken off the beneficiary. So it was odd though, because it like cycled through her and her again, and then it cycled to Eric's sister, I believe. But it was an odd way. We'll have to go back and watch the insurance woman, but it was odd the way it came in. It's like it kicked it back several times and then allowed him to change it. I do believe it was Eric that changed the beneficiary to his sister, but I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. I believe there were multiple insurances, so oh, fair point. Yeah, there are multiple insurances, so
Sir, did you collect those business and haircut receipts from C&E's records?
Yes.
Can you turn to tab 3? Did you recover those documents from Integrated Solutions?
I'm looking at an IRS e-file signature authorization form 8879. Is that?
Would you repeat the tab number, Mr. Bloodworth?
Tab 3.
Maybe just take a look to make sure you and the witness are on the same page.
Old Line Red said, I have the impression she was trying to change the beneficiary on a different policy and accidentally changed the business one, which is why it happened in that 6-minute window. That makes sense. Because she also had, I think, 3 policies that totaled up to, I think, $1.3 million that she did actually receive after his death that all went back into her business.
These 4 pages of tab 3. Sir, did you collect those documents from Integrated Solutions, those 4 pages in tab 3?
We requested any signatures that they might have to be sent.
And did they then provide those to you?
Yes.
Sir, can you turn to tab 7, please?
Yeah.
Did you request and obtain from Big D Construction those documents containing Eric Richins' signature?
Same thing. We asked if they had any signatures and if they could send those over. If they did, provide those for us.
And then, sir, tab 13. Did you request and retrieve those documents from the Ford dealership?
I did not request the ones from Labrum Ford.
Okay. The documents at tabs 2, 3, and 7, did you then provide those to Katie Richins?
Yes.
I'll get that from you. Thank you.
No idea.
Scott, if you can bring up 10-89, please. Defense Exhibit 10-89.
He has it.
John, I'm sorry, we don't have it.
You should. Mr. Wright, can you see that photograph on your screen?
So I can
Okay.
see it on the
Ms. Nestor, can you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll fix that during a break, Mr. Bloodworth.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Your Honor, can the court publish it? Defense admitted this into evidence with mistaking.
Brittany, will you just confirm that that's correct? I don't recall.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Barbara. Full of questions.
Defendants 1089-1089. Trust
Oh,
the verdict.
right. And it seems like you came in as they're having some technical difficulties,
Okay,
but
great.
I believe we might be getting into either with this witness or some of the witnesses that are coming on today, the weird wake with Eric's kids and kids where people were shotgunning beers. Again, maybe that's normal for a wake. I just, it seems ick.
There you are.
Sir, are you married to Allie Wright?
Yes.
Is Allie Wright in this photograph?
No.
Thank you. Sir, have you ever observed Eric sick or injured?
Yes.
Can you give some examples, please?
Eric had Lyme disease at one point. Saw him when he had COVID. I saw him when he had a cold. I saw him when he had the flu. I saw him when he had back pain, hunched over from lifting a rock and tweaking his back to where he could barely walk.
How did Eric react to illness or injury?
He's a cowboy. Eric is a go get him. He's not going to sit at home because he's sick. He's not going to stay home because he has COVID. He's not going to not show up because he's feeling under the weather. He's very tough-spirited, rough-hearted as far as not being a wimp goes.
Other than allergy medication, have you ever seen Eric use over-the-counter drugs?
No.
Have you ever seen Eric use prescription drugs?
No.
Have you ever seen Eric use illicit drugs?
I have never seen him use illicit drugs.
Sir, do you recall receiving a phone call from Eric at approximately 2 p.m. on Valentine's Day, 2022?
Yes.
Without saying what Eric said to you, why is it you remember that phone call?
The fear in his voice, the urgency of the situation, the seriousness of what was going on.
Have you ever?
I mean, that makes sense. The way he's describing Eric, it would have to be something that was freaking Eric out to the point that he was going to call someone else. And does kind of make sense that he would, if he is that type, that he would maybe call a friend instead of calling a doctor.
Ever heard Eric sound like that before?
The only other times
Okay.
I heard that urgency and that fear when he called me telling me that his mother had passed away in the hospital. I also heard that urgency or that fear when he had been rear-ended in an accident, and feared that the person that had hit him had passed away as well, or had hit him hard enough that he was scared of what had just happened.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Okay, defense, try not to be terrible.
There's more water in that correct. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good morning, sir. You and I have met before, but just to remind you, I'm Kathy Nestor, and I'm one of Kouri's attorneys. So I want to talk to you about C&E a little bit.
Oh, good God, she's already annoyed me. So, oh dear God. I should not be irritated with her already in the morning, and she's really ostensibly done nothing wrong, but the attitude already.
But just to remind you, I'm Kathy Nestor, and I'm one of Kouri's attorneys. So I want to talk to you about C&E a little bit. You mentioned that the, excuse me, Your Honor. You mentioned that the company was growing about the time Eric passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, it was slowly growing. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys split everything 50-50.
Financially and in the administration part of the business, yes.
So whatever you made in a year, he made in a year.
Yes.
So in 2022, how much did you earn that year?
Objection,
I
Your Honor,
don't.
relevancy.
Yeah.
Few pressure.
Well, I mean, I can see how it's relevant because he makes essentially what Eric made, but we already know what Eric made. The defense made it very clear by showing us his tax return. So I don't understand how asking him, we know Eric was well off and his business was functional. You shouldn't keep making it a point to rub it in your client's face. I mean, that's just mean.
So, how much did you earn, let's say 2021, the year before, just a few months before Eric died? How much did you clear that year? Income,
Are you talking personally or in the business or
personally?
personally? I don't have those numbers in front of me. I'm not positive what that number would be.
Was it more than $500,000?
Personally, no.
Okay. Do you know that, do you know what Eric made in 2021?
Mr. Bloodworth, go ahead.
Objection foundation.
It's a yes or no question, so if you would start there, sir. Overrule.
Do you know what Eric made in 2021?
No, not off the top of my head.
No.
All right. So if there's tax returns that have already come in that indicate, that came in through an expert, that indicate he declared around between $700,000 and $900,000, would that be way off base for that year?
You pause there for a moment. Mr. Bloodworth.
Objection foundation.
Yeah, you approach for a minute.
Oh, good Lord. Well, you know, the state thought that they were going to be ending today, but I see this taking until the end of the week because, yeah, Eric might have had side jobs. He might have had Richins family businesses that he did with his family on the side. There might have been investments that he had. There could have been. So, yeah, he would not have known intrinsically what his partner made just because of based on what he made.
Did you, at the time that Eric died, did you project that your company was going to continue to increase in value and resulting in increased income to both of you over the years?
Before he passed, you're
Yes.
asking? Yes, we would have projected that our company would continue to grow.
And fair to say that you both would be financially secure as long as that continued to happen?
As long as that continued to happen, yes.
All right. At one point, before Eric passed, you actually had Kouri Richins on your payroll. Is that right?
Correct.
And she would get monthly income from your company?
Correct.
And do you remember how much she would get?
Ms. Nestor, I apologize for interrupting. Mr. Wright, I need you to answer just a little bit louder.
You bet.
Brittany's listening on the mic and we're not picking it up. Go ahead.
So you had Kouri on the payroll, right?
Yes.
How much was she making every month? Do you remember?
I don't recall.
Right. And then when Eric passed, isn't it true that Kouri asked to be removed from the payroll?
I do not believe she asked to be removed from the payroll. We continued to pay her for some time after he passed.
Like a week.
Oof. Oof. Kathy, check your facts. If they come from Kouri, don't take them as gospel, ma'am.
I recall it being longer than a week.
How long do you recall it being?
Howdy.
I was trying to have a nap, but Mr. Jingles decided to have a concert outside my bedroom door. And so here I am.
Well, you missed it. We have another motion, or at least the judge would like the state to respond to the Giglio motion for a mistrial. They have withdrawn the motion for or the defense has withdrawn one motion for mistrial, but they're still keeping that one. And then they're still looking at possibly ending tomorrow, but they're going to have a lengthy sidebar or out of jury presence because it's going to be Detective O'Driscoll. And there's a lot of things that they're going to be fighting about. I'm sure the walk the dog letter and all of that. But we're going to go back because Miss Nestor is again asking questions to which she maybe only vaguely asked Kouri and is making Kouri look bad again.
Remember?
I don't recall.
Right. And then when Eric passed, isn't it true that Kouri asked to be removed from the payroll?
I do not believe she asked to be removed from the payroll. We continued to pay her for some time after he passed.
Like a week.
I recall it being longer than a week,
How long do you recall it being?
a couple of months.
Okay. You also had as part of your company a business called Fox Lake Investments, right?
Correct.
And Fox Lakes was separate from C&E, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, scope.
Sustained.
Okay. Did you at one point engage in house flipping like Kouri Richins had through your C&E business?
Through C&E,
Not through C&E, through Fox Lake, through anything.
Objection, Your Honor, scope.
Sustained.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the Fransom Lane property. The Fransom Lane property, you just testified that you gave a loan or invested or whatever word you want to call it, about $200,000, right?
approximately.
And do you know what that money was used for?
The money was used for fixing up that home,
Rehab costs.
rehab costs.
Right. And you got all of your money back plus interest. Is that correct?
I believe we did, yes.
And do you know how much interest or profit you made on that?
I don't recall.
All right. And you talked about a buy-sell agreement that you guys had, and you just discussed that with Mr. Bloodworth. The buy-sell agreement is basically when partners in a business buy an insurance policy on each other, right?
Correct.
So that if Eric died, you would get money. If you died, Eric would get money, right?
Correct.
And the idea of that policy is that you pay the family member to divest from your business and say, look, here's the $2 million. Please don't be a partner with me. I don't want to be partners with you. I just want to pay you $2 million and you go away and you're done with this business, right?
The idea of it is to do whatever the contract states. So whatever is in that contract would be followed.
And was it your understanding that your buy-sell agreement would allow whichever person survived the other partner to pay that money to the family, and then the family would not be involved in the business from there forward?
In our buy-sell agreement, we had it so that the proceeds would go to the family.
Right. And Mr. Bloodworth talked to you about a beneficiary change on the buy-sell agreement, right?
Yes.
And that occurred on January 1st of
Objection,
20.
Your Honor. Just foundation, the beneficiary change is on the life insurance policy, not the buy-sell agreement.
I think that's what Ms. Nestor meant.
That's what I meant.
Appreciate the clarification.
Thank you. So the beneficiary to the life insurance that backed up the buy-sell agreement was changed on January 1st of 2022. Is that right?
I was told that.
Okay. And were you in fact told when you learned about this that the policy that was changed was your policy, not Eric's?
So the way that I understood that is the policy is on the person who is still alive. And I don't recall exactly the words that they used to tell me that it had been switched. They told me that someone had logged in and switched that beneficiary, and that was
to your policy.
Yeah, I
Right?
don't recall the exact words that he used in that moment.
Well, think about it. You remember everything else. You don't remember if it was your policy or Eric's policy that it was changed?
Your Honor, objection, asked and answered.
Your Honor, I'd like him to have a chance to answer it.
Overruled. Please answer Ms. Nestor's question.
So It's tricky because it's a flip flop. So I'm trying to think about that in this setting. Give me just 1 second.
It's okay. Take your time.
Well, couple of years ago when Jeff covered this, I believe he said this in the deposition. So it's not that he's unaware of it. He just doesn't remember it right now.
So what I was told was that there was a change made to the beneficiary, and somebody had gone in and changed that and then switched it back. I do not recall him telling me whose name was changed or anything like that.
So it's possible it was your policy.
There's a possibility.
Okay. And if it was your policy, that means if you died, the beneficiary would be somebody different, not if Eric died.
Okay.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. And then it was changed back, right?
That's what I was told.
So at the time that Eric passed, Kouri Richins was not a beneficiary of your policy, right?
Can you say that again?
At the time Eric died, Kouri Richins was not a beneficiary of your personal policy, correct?
Not of my policy. No.
And she was not a beneficiary of Eric's policy, correct?
The policy stated that if he were to die, I would pay his family the money.
And that's what you did. You paid Katie Benson and the trust
I did
the
not
money.
pay Katie Benson. I paid the trust.
You paid the
and I had
trust.
put it into the court,
Okay.
which was instructed by attorneys.
Okay. So none of that money went to Kouri, right?
I have no clue where that money sits today.
You didn't give it to Kouri.
I gave it to the court
You gave it
as
to
I was instructed
For
through
the-
my attorney.
on the behalf of the trust.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Nick, if you're being accused of murdering your husband for money, would you, be making the point that you never got any of this money?
Nope.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I mean, it's you're trying to survive the onslaught of accusations. You don't want to draw attention to any of it.
And Miss Nestor talking about faces, the jury can see Kouri doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to talk about faces. I think the jury can see the,
Yeah.
I want to talk about the times that you saw Eric in pain.
Mhm.
So, fair to say Eric had back pain. He had back problems.
He would pinch a nerve once in a while and have back pain, yes.
And he'd be unable to work.
He would work through that.
Sometimes he'd be unable to work.
He would still probably drive around in his truck, which is considered work. I mean,
Okay.
he wasn't out lifting another stone, if that's what work. Yeah.
So it might have impacted the type of work he could do.
Yeah.
All right. And he also had knee pain, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I believe so. Mhm.
And he even had knee surgery at some point.
I don't recall that.
Okay. And then he had Lyme's disease.
Yes.
And did he complain to you about pain in his muscles from Lyme's disease?
He would tell me how painful that was. Correct.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bloodworth asked you if you had ever seen Eric take drugs, right?
Correct.
And Eric, you mentioned you guys went on a mission together, right?
Correct.
So it's fair
Different
to
times, but
it's
not
fair-
together.
it's fair to assume that you subscribe to the faith of the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
I am LDS.
Okay. And as part of that faith, you all subscribe that it is not proper to drink or take drugs, right?
Can we send her to a camp for asking questions? Like, how? You're LDS. You don't believe in drinking. How hard was that?
Yeah. They elongate, and I don't know why, because they could have gotten the same information with simple,
Well, but
short
it doesn't
questions.
fit her, "Oh, well, oh, shucks, I'm not gonna use lawyerly words," and then she crafts these convoluted questions that only another lawyer would ask. D
If you are an active following member and you believe that, then that is correct.
And Eric knew that you were of this faith, correct?
Correct.
And he did not share with you when he drank alcohol, did he?
I would hear about it.
He didn't share it with you.
I've never.
Okay, you won the lottery, or you won the internet, Snipe Hunter. Is that why she doesn't believe in diets?
Mm.
Yeah, it's the latter-day Dunkin' Donuts.
Been offered a drink from Eric.
And I'm sure that is a sign of respect to you and your faith.
I believe
Yes?
so. To me as a person.
And he never shared with you that he used marijuana gummies.
He himself? No, he never told me.
Okay. Did you ever see him do that around you?
No.
Okay. And again,
But that also fights that he was secretly taking fentanyl. He's so controlled as an addict that he knows which people he can do it in front. He's aware still of which people he can
Yeah.
do it in front of and not.
And the questions she should ask here is, but you did know about it.
Yeah.
And then, is this something you knew that he hid from other people as well? I mean, there are simple questions that goes to the core of their defense, which has to be that Eric accidentally did this himself. But then you have to push those issues, not stepping around cat like around hot porridge. No, just get to it and then hammer it in and then fuck off.
Well, yeah, and there's been conflicting outside information because what he was on for Lyme, and it's not Lyme's disease. Maybe do some, ma'am. Come on, I expected you to do just a scotch of research, but no. It just doesn't seem like they have any theory, and they're just throwing spaghetti on the wall now, with Kouri making increasingly more aggressive faces at the witnesses.
he knew that you would not approve of that, right? Under your faith.
Eric would be okay telling me some of those things. He would tell me, but in the light that I am his good friend, that he would tell me things, right? But not be proud of that by any means.
So he did share with you that he used drugs.
No.
Objection, Your Honor. It's not a question calls for hearsay.
Whoa.
Sustained. Just ask your next question.
Did you just testify that he did tell you about things? He just wasn't proud of it?
Ms. Nestor.
Yes, sir.
Sustained. If you'd ask a different question, please.
So when Mr. Bloodworth asked you the question if you had ever seen Eric use drugs, your answer was no, correct?
You're correct.
But you have knowledge that he did.
People have told me that.
Objection.
I'll leave it.
Hearsay.
What the hell is this hand thing? This waving him off. Also, is this supposed to be a necklace? Because I am confused.
I have no idea.
Why is it down so far?
Maybe she tilted forward and then it broke, and now it's just resting on her cleavage. I don't know. I have no clue.
Godspeed necklace. The murder meatball has left her forehead, so I think it got exonerated. Rest in peace, murder meatball. You were the best part of this trial.
Well, it's out. What do you want me to do now, Mr. Bloodworth?
It is out. What if people told you?
You can follow up. Okay. Ms. Nestor, please keep moving.
Tyler Robinson plea deal.
You mentioned that you and Eric used to go hunting together. Is that right?
Yes.
At some point, did you provide information to hunting law enforcement officials about violations that Eric had done when he was hunting?
Yes.
And
Why the flipping flapjack are we talking about illegal hunting of Bambi right now?
It has absolutely nothing to do with what she's trying to defend herself against. Is it because, hey, you reported him?
Well, but
You had reasons
goes-
to kill him?
it goes against her case because
Yeah.
he actively he loves his friend. You can tell he doesn't even use the past tense half the time. And
Yeah.
he's still so righteous that he told on his friend, I'm
Yeah.
guessing posthumously at this point. So if he knew he did drugs, he would have said something. So it goes completely against her point. She's just proven now that he's willing to, tell on his friend even after he passed away about some hunting stuff.
was he placed in jail for that?
Yes.
And you provided that
Oh,
information
I'm sorry,
and
before his
testified
death.
against him.
No.
Okay. But you told the police that he did what they thought he did, right?
I was in. I was brought in and asked questions that I answered to.
And those questions incriminated Eric.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them.
And you and Eric kind of had a falling out after that. Is that fair?
Falling out in what sense?
You stopped going on vacations together with your families.
We didn't go on vacation with our families very often as it was. So I would say that was not something that immediately happened after that.
Your relationship became
Also,
more tense,
vid.
more difficult between the two of you.
Oh yeah, he didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was upset about that.
So I want to talk about the Valentine's Day call that you had with Eric. To your knowledge, did Eric work that day?
Again, work is everywhere we go. We have our cell phone and we are working.
Did you know whether he worked that day?
I would assume that he had worked that day, having received a phone call or two or done some sort of management style of work.
If I were to show you photographs of projects that he visited that morning, would you be able to recognize the project by looking at the house?
I may be able to recognize a project, but I'd have no clue if he showed up there or not, or if he had worked there that day.
Okay, can we put up for the witness States Exhibit 3-13D? All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we still don't have it.
You're welcome to use that. Okay, do you see that photograph in front of you?
Yes.
All right. And that is a photograph and
You
Eric.
pause for 1 moment, Ms. Nestor. Mr. Bloodworth.
Objection, Your Honor, foundation.
He hasn't even let me get it out of my mouth yet, Judge.
Are you about to lay some time?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so if you lay it before you represent what it is.
I will.
Thank you.
Do you recognize what that home is, the aerial view? Do you know whose home that is?
Yes.
Whose home is that?
Eric's.
Okay. And can you go to the next photograph, Katie? Do you recognize that overhead view of a home?
I don't.
So you don't know if that's one of the homes that Eric was working on or one of his projects at the time?
Doesn't look familiar to me.
Okay, can you go to the next one, Katie? What about this very large home? Do you recognize that one?
I don't.
You don't know if you guys were doing a project on that house?
I don't.
Okay, you can take it down.
Well, the way he explained it, Eric had his own projects, he had his own projects, and they kind of, coordinated things business-wise, but they were somewhat independent. So he wouldn't have known a lot of Eric's projects, I wouldn't think.
On the day that you spoke to Eric Richins on Valentine's Day, he didn't, you weren't aware that he went to a doctor that day? Did you ever know of him going to the doctor, taking time off
He told me that he had gone with Carter that morning.
to get allergy shots?
Something with allergies.
Okay, but after you spoke to him, were you ever aware that he went to a doctor to follow up on how he felt that day?
Your Honor, objection calls, I think, for hearsay. There's no foundation otherwise.
If he had personal knowledge, if Eric took time off to go to the doctor,
Please approach.
We
She
are
didn't-
so going to have to take a shot before the end of this week.
Oh, yeah. She's on a mission here. She didn't even listen to the judge when he said sustained. She was like, "And we're gonna go back to the question." And the judge was being very nice. But this is how we're starting a Monday?
Yep.
did you get
I did not.
okay. Hospital that day?
No,
Did you go visit him in a hospital that day?
I did not.
Okay. Did he make any calls to you where you could hear in the background there was hospital noises or ambulances or anything like that?
No.
Did he come to work the next day?
Yes. He would have been working.
All right, the day that Eric died on March the day before he died, the 3rd, you guys went to lunch that day, didn't you?
Yes.
And you went to lunch at the Mirror Lake Cafe.
I believe that's where it was. Yes.
And you kind of spent part of the day with him that day, didn't you?
Just that at that lunch appointment.
All right.
Where are you going?
And then
this?
you got notice that he had passed, correct?
The next morning.
And did you send Becky Lloyd to Eric's house to pick up all of his computers?
At a certain point, yes. I don't remember when, but yes, she went and picked the computer up.
And was that within a day or two of his death?
Yes, it would have been within a couple of days.
And you didn't clear that with any law enforcement?
Didn't. Nope.
So you picked up his computer, or Becky picked up his computer and brought it into y'all's custody, right?
Yeah, it was C&E owned computer that we needed the
Did-
company stuff from.
And did you get into the computer? Did you open it? Did you look for documents in it?
I don't know how to turn a computer on half the time.
Okay. All right. What about Miss Becky? Did she go into the computer?
Your Honor, objection here says go.
Do you know whether Becky went into
Hold
the?
on. Sustained, if you could ask
I
a
will.
non-hearsay inducing question.
Did you see Becky go into the computer at all?
I did not see Becky.
Okay. And then at some point, a private investigator came to talk to you about that computer, correct?
Correct.
And that would be Mr. Todd Gabler.
Correct.
And Todd worked for the Richins family or the trust.
I don't know who he worked for, but I assume that's correct.
And you told him that Becky had the computer
Correct.
and you sent him to get it from Becky.
I don't remember sending him.
Did you authorize Becky to give it to him?
We would have in that instance, yes.
Okay. And in all that time, no law enforcement had gotten the computer first.
Correct.
All right. And then isn't it true that shortly after Eric died, you also sent somebody to pick up his work truck?
Correct.
And explain to me what the work truck looked like.
Brown Ford 550 flatbed truck.
And I noticed you said earlier that work a lot of times involved driving around in that truck, right?
Correct.
So he spent a lot of time in that truck.
He did.
And the truck was parked generally in the garage in the back of his house. Is that fair?
I don't know where he parked it.
But you sent someone named, what was the person's name that you sent to go get the truck?
I don't recall who I sent.
Okay. Somebody named Victor?
I don't recall.
Okay. And he went to pick the truck up and took it out of the garage, right?
But if it was in the garage, then he would have taken it out of the garage. I don't know where it was parked.
Okay. And if the police testified that that truck was not searched when Mr. Richins died, to your knowledge, had anybody sought your permission to search it at all prior to you picking it up?
No.
Okay. And then you took it into your custody
Yes.
and you kept that truck.
Yes.
You still have it.
Yes.
All right. He also drove a red truck. Is that right? Like a personal truck.
Yes.
And did the C&E
Did she expect him to have a Viking funeral with a flatbed? Like, put it out in a lake and light it?
Yep. And
She's like, "How dare you keep that truck and not give it to Kouri?"
own the red truck?
Yes.
All right. And at some point, you found out that the red truck was being serviced. Is that right?
Yes.
How'd you find that out?
The Ford dealership called me and told me that it was ready to be picked up.
And you knew that that truck was being driven by Kouri Richins at the time?
It should not have been being driven at all.
Okay, but she had custody of it.
It was sitting at her house with instruction that it shouldn't be driven.
And when you
Well,
found out,
knowledge that it shouldn't be
I'm
driven.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
You're
thought you were done. You found out the truck was ready and you went and picked it up, right?
We went and got it. Yes.
You didn't,
Because it had been driven.
you didn't talk to Kouri about it.
No.
You didn't discuss it with her at all.
No.
You just took it from the dealership.
It is a C&E owned vehicle. And there is ramifications for an accident for somebody that's not working with C&E.
Okay.
And
And
so it felt
yeah,
that it would be
insurance.
proper to
Yeah.
make sure that the truck
Yeah.
wasn't being driven
Where's the truck now?
in
The fact that he doesn't say none ya goddamn business.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
company property. I mean, if she wrecks it, there's no insurance
Yeah.
at
yeah.
all, and they
Why?
won't get anything.
Yeah, and the fact
They
that
have to-
Kouri
yeah.
is so oblivious, she doesn't think about other people, it
Mm.
is on full display here.
I don't know, why do the defense go into this?
'Cause-
Why do you want to go into that she drove around in a truck that she was not allowed to drive?
Okay, do we think Nestor is a plant to make sure that Tyler Robinson gets found guilty? I mean, it's long and it's 4D chess, but
somebody's yard or house, or I don't know exactly where it's at.
Did you give it to Katie?
I did.
You gave it to her for free.
I did not give it to her. No.
You sold it to
It
her?
is owned by C&E.
So did C&E sell the truck to Katie or did they
No.
just give it to her?
No, it's sitting at their home or their yard or their place.
So they had it. So the people who had access to the truck before any law enforcement ever looked at it were you, Katie, anyone in Katie's family, anyone at the dealership. Is that all right?
Say that again.
The people who had access to that red truck before there was any search executed were you, Katie, anyone in Katie's family, and anyone at C&E that picked it up?
Objection Foundation.
Overruled. You can go.
Yeah, I mean, many people had access to that truck. If access is,
Okay.
yeah, and that's not on him, that's on the police.
Yeah.
it would have to be given the key and given permission to drive it.
So when Eric passed and his buy-sell agreement was executed and you gave the money to the court for the trust, then the company 100% became yours, correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that your personal net worth basically doubled at that point?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. The company
Well, yeah,
his part went into the trust, and then he got the offer to buy that which also means, yeah, net worth, yeah, but also a lot of fucking debt, because I'm assuming he had to get a loan to buy that part.
Does this woman understand math in the very tenuous way that Kouri does? She's like, you got more money. You didn't give
Yeah,
Kouri any.
I mean, and net worth is before everything. Net worth,
Yeah.
I mean, oh, Nick, you have a stake in a $400,000 farm. Your net worth must be no, because it's a fucking it's a
farm.
I
Yeah.
can't just ship off paint and it turns into money.
Yeah, this is so, and it's so objectionable. Again, you don't want to bring relevance, especially if your client is known as a money grubbing, gold digger. Maybe you don't want to point out money at every single opportunity.
You could say that.
Okay.
And then to let that question hang.
Since Eric's death, you've remained close with his family. Is that fair?
Yes.
And you and your wife have accompanied Eric's family to court and sat with them during court hearings?
Yeah.
Now, I think that's okay for the defense attorney to bring up. I mean, he does clearly have a side he's on.
Court's indulgence for just one question I did forget. The New York Life, that was who had your insurance for your buy-sell, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware of whether Kouri and Eric had personal New York Life policies as well?
I don't know the answer.
Okay, that's fine. Court's indulgence for just 1 minute, Your Honor.
Of course.
Was C&E paying for a personal life insurance policy for Eric through a company called Auto Owners or Integrated Insurance Solutions?
I'm not aware.
Okay, that's fine. You mentioned that Eric loved hunting, right?
Correct.
And after you gave your testimony to the Department of Wildlife and Natural Resources, Eric couldn't hunt for a while in the United States. Is that right?
Correct.
But he still could hunt in Mexico.
Correct.
And are you aware that shortly before his death, he went hunting in Mexico?
I am.
Do you know when?
It would have been in February sometime, I believe.
All right. And how often did he
Maybe
hunt
January.
in Mexico? Are you aware?
Sorry, what?
How often did Eric go hunting in Mexico?
He went down there for a trip, so I would assume he was hunting every day that he was there.
Okay. Are you aware of more than one time that he went to Mexico to go hunting?
Yes.
Were you aware of the more than 5 times?
I couldn't say. I don't remember.
Did you ever
Not
go
sure.
with him to Mexico?
Could I?
Did you?
Did I know?
Do you know where in Mexico Eric went hunting?
A general area. I don't know exactly where.
It's a general area
Typically, the hunting takes place in somewhere around Sonora,
around Sonora.
somewhere.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Mr. Blood.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, from your perspective, was the loan to Kouri Richins Realty in connection with the Franson Lane property out of necessity?
Yes.
You testified that generally people had told you that Eric did drugs. I want to be specific. Did people generally tell you that Eric would use THC edibles?
Object to hearsay.
You open the door, overruled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Please repeat that.
Did people tell you that Eric would use THC edibles?
People would tell me that, yes.
Did anyone ever tell you that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs?
No.
Idiot.
Yeah.
You knew that was coming
Testified
back
that
to haunt you.
Provided some inculpatory information to DNR officers in connection with their investigation of Eric. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Why did you provide them with information?
Eric was being investigated for a wildlife incident. Somebody else had turned him in, and they brought me in to answer some questions that they had.
And did the incident involve not having a tag and killing an elk?
Yes.
Why did you provide incriminating evidence as opposed to covering for Eric?
Eric knew what he had done wasn't right. And he was okay to be a big boy and take care of his own stuff. And I was okay to be honest and tell them the truth and allow him to do what he needed to do on his end.
Is that hard for you to do?
It was extremely hard. I knew what those ramifications were going to be.
But did you do it because it was the right thing to do?
I did.
Does March the 7th, 2022 sound like about the right day when you dispatched somebody to pick up the brown truck from Eric's residence?
Sounds right.
Why have you sat with Eric Richins' family at various court proceedings?
Object to relevance, Your Honor.
Oh no, you opened the door. She should. Oh, well. Kouri, it was nice knowing you. Don't drop the soap.
It's within the scope of your cross. Overruled.
I love the Richins. I loved Eric. He was one of my best friends. And I want to be a support where I can.
Thank you.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Of course.
Let's see. Request for mistrial number 4. I'm guessing because reasons.
Yeah.
But I mean, she brought it up. She made it a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Are they trying to get a mistrial?
Or ineffectiveness of counsel for appeal. I mean, she not only opens doors, she basically kicks the door off the hinges.
Yeah, with the last witness, because I mean, I will say he was very balanced in that, because he could have thrown her under the flippin' bus.
Mm.
I mean, the witness was very measured. He could have
This
said,
would be an opportune time for a restroom break. I was about to take one anyways. Please rise for the jury.
So, what's their excuse? We did not open the door that much.
probably. It's like really mean to Kouri, and we were doing a good job.
This could have been such an easy cross-examination. Just bring what you need for
would you
Kouri's
say-
defense.
It
Yeah.
could have been.
Yeah.
But it's a Monday after daylight savings time. This is actually, you know what? They're not doing as bad as I thought they would. I thought we would already be on 100 sidebars by now.
Screen at table 2. Okay.
John, can I step to the car room for a minute?
Of course.
Where did that lady
Mr.
come
Wright.
from?
I'm not certain, but I think it'll be necessary for you to leave the courtroom for this discussion. So out of an abundance of caution, would you please step into the lobby? Please do not speak with anyone while you're out there. Thank you, sir. We just wait a moment. Yeah. We're just trying to fix the screen.
I am not sure. I believe they are with Eric's family.
Page 60 is. Is there a page and line number you want me to go to?
If you start at line 15 and go through the beginning of the next page.
If you can go to the next page for me.
Your Honor, I probably need to read it into the record for purposes of the record.
One moment. Can we go back to page 60? Do you have it up on your screen, Mr. Bloodworth?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
So the part that we're seeking to examine the witness, and we submit that the state has opened the door by asking the question, has anyone ever told you Eric used illicit drugs? And his answer was no. In this testimony at the preliminary, page 60 line, beginning at line 15. And were you aware that in high school, Eric had an addiction to pain pills? Answer, I did know that he participated in pain pill taking for sure. Question, you did? Answer, yes. And do you know what his pill of choice was that he was addicted to back then? Answer, I believe in high school we called them Red Devils.
Is that where you want to stop?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm not
So,
entirely sure that Mr. Wright is referring.
Yeah, I mean, he's not referring to high school. They are referring to at this point in time, like 20 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, and I don't know what him not bringing up Eric's high school stuff is going to impeach that he didn't bring up his high school stuff. I mean, I think it's clear from the question that he's asking or they're asking for contemporaneous drug use. Now,
Yeah.
if he had asked the question, have you ever heard of Eric taking drugs or known of him? That would, I would think, include high school, but I don't understand what she thinks she's going to accomplish. I mean, there has to be discretion is the better part of valor in some of this. Every deposition, I'm sure, are going to have are going to have contradictions in them. It's picking the ones that actually help your case, and this one might, if you're going for the theory that he was secretly addicted to pain pills, but his behavior is not that of someone on pain pills.
To illicit street drugs, quote unquote, there, but I also don't know the other way. Mr. Bloodworth, you'd be able to clarify that with him once it came in. I think I already ruled on a motion to eliminate that this issue would be admissible, correct?
No, Your Honor, it was the opposite.
Well, that's
In the motion in limine, and we're scrambling in the back to get this now, the motion in limine briefing to you. But in the motion in limine, Mr. Wright clarified this testimony to say his awareness was from other people.
Oh, that's right.
Not from observing Eric Richins. So whatever he knows about Eric Richins' high school drug use, if any.
Yes, the jury is on a break.
Hearsay. Mr. Wright also clarified, it wasn't Mr. Wright that was clarified. Also, the state produced evidence that Red Devils, circa whatever it was, 2020-ish, was a reference to an over-the-counter cough suppressant that kids were taking in high school. So I think the defense is
Grasping.
saying that that the state opened the door is unfounded.
May I respond, Your Honor?
One moment, I've got to read my ruling.
Yes, sir.
So the ruling was that I deferred ruling on the motion in limine until after the parties have an opportunity to voir dire or witness Kouri Wright or provide other evidence outside the presence of the jury to determine whether there is any non-hearsay route to the admissibility of the proposed evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. So here's what just happened. Mr. Bloodworth asked the question, has anyone ever told you that Eric used illicit drugs?
Illicit street drugs.
I objected to hearsay. The court ruled that I had opened the door and allowed him to elicit that hearsay evidence.
Yeah, in
Once
fairness, you're skipping the first step. You opened the door and crossed
I
this
just said
topic.
I just said that.
Right,
that
but
you,
I want to be clear.
okay.
No,
It's
she
not
didn't.
just-
Let's backinate. Do 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 do. All right, let's see if we heard that. We opened the door.
Mr. Bloodworth asked the question, has anyone ever told you that Eric used illicit drugs?
Illicit street drugs.
I objected to hearsay. The court ruled that I had opened the door and allowed him to elicit that hearsay evidence.
Yeah, in
Once
fairness, you're skipping the first step. You opened the door and crossed
I
this
just said
topic.
I just said that.
Right.
that you-
Okay, she
I
did
wanna be
say
clear.
that in
It's not
fairness,
just an
but
allegation that you did.
it hurts me
Okay.
to be
Then
fair.
Mr. Bloodworth went into it.
Okay, absolutely. I was trying to convey that. I'm sorry if I didn't do it correctly. I was not trying to skip any step. You ruled that I had opened the door. You allowed him to elicit what would typically be hearsay evidence because I had opened the door. Now it's it. Now this witness is sat on the stand. No one's ever told him that Eric used illicit drugs, and that is not true.
Illicit street drugs. Please be precise.
That's what these are. He's
Well,
claimed.
we don't know one way or the other. Would you like an opportunity to voir dire or Kouri Wright about that, consistent with the court's motion and limine ruling from January?
I'm happy to voir dire him if it helps the court with your ruling. It is my position that at this point, I'm entitled to impeach him for making a statement in response to the state, elicited by the state, that no one's ever told him Eric used illicit street drugs. Here I have testimony that is contrary to that. I have a right to impeach him on that. I'll voir dire him on whatever you want, but it's my motion now that I be allowed to go into this because
This is so unprofessional. I mean, I can't imagine telling a judge basically what I'm going to be doing after he makes his motion or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a clear difference between illicit street drugs and the meaning of that. And
Yes.
he was addicted to painkillers in high
Or
school.
medicine or
Yeah,
there's
or
there's a big
whatever.
difference.
Yeah, it depends on if this witness has knowledge that he used street painkillers or if he just nicked them from somewhere.
Yeah,
If he might have had a prescription. He just took them very often.
There's a difference between, I mean, and you can abuse prescription medication, but there's a difference between my doctor filled a bunch of pills and they make me feel great, and I bought a bunch of pills off of the guy on the street.
state has put it there. They've put it out there. I have a right to impeach that he just testified falsely and inconsistently with what he said at the prelim. And it's very important, Your Honor.
If he, in fact, said something impeachable, you have the right to impeach him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm not sure that he did yet. Why don't we get to that point? Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, certainly we can voir dire him. I think if the court reads further down in the preliminary hearing transcript, counsel asks.
You know I don't have that ability, so if you could cite me to it.
Oh, do you not? I'm sorry.
No, I don't have control over what they're showing me.
I can email.
If there's a docket entry you want me to look at, I know that it's in the docket.
Sure, it's page 61 that I thought was on your screen. It's on my screen.
So
It is now, yeah.
the
So
bottom,
at the bottom of page 60, I guess we just read from the middle of page 60.
60, line 15 through 25.
Correct. If
Yeah.
the court keeps reading to the top of page 61, Kouri Wright says he has no idea what Red Devils were.
He says prior to that he was very aware that Eric took pain pills in high school. He says that clear as day.
Why don't we just ask him what he knows?
We can, but
Oh, you don't want that. You want to just use this.
I want to use this and I want to do it in front of the jury. I
But
don't
you
want to
want
give a
to, you don't want
chance.
to just put it in. You want to ask him questions about it, right?
No, I just want to use, I want to impeach him with this document only.
You
That's
don't
it.
have any foundation that red devils are illicit street drugs, though. So you need that foundation.
Pain pills would be.
But that's not
Okay.
illicit
What
street
he
drugs.
said.
That wasn't the question.
The term
This is an
red
important
devils
difference.
is a slang term used to describe several types of dangerous, illicit, or misused substances like Xanax, barbiturates, over-the-counter cough medicine.
Yeah, that's what. So I think it was not the witness. It was, I think, the prosecuting attorney who said red devils were found. We found out that they were cold medicines. So
Mm.
why are we bringing? Good God, this woman is insufferable.
Nobody's asked this gentleman
Your Honor,
or shown that
If you buy pain pills.
please
I'm
don't
sorry.
speak
I'm
over
sorry.
me
I'm
so
sorry.
that you have a
Oh.
What the hell, Kathy?
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks from the YSL trial when prosecutor Love could not stop interrupting the judge, and judge there was so weak he just called in the jury to make her stop. This guy
No,
has a backbone the size
Yeah.
of Texas.
It's the nice ones. He's given you 11 D12 chances, and now serious dad voice is going to come out. Have a toothbrush, Miss Nestor. Have a toothbrush.
clean record.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
If there is an impeachable statement by this witness as to whether he's aware that Eric Richins took pain pills at any point in his life, this would be directly relevant to that. But we need a non-speculative foundation for the idea that red devils are illicit street drugs.
So the pain pills that they're talking about, if they are
Who's
taken,
they?
if that are being referred to in this prior statement, the
Red
pain
devils.
pills that, well, he says pain pills and then he says red devils.
Okay.
So my understanding, according to this, is that Mr.
Good
Wright
point,
doesn't know what
JKD
red
Buck.
devils are, but that's what they called them in high school,
Seems accurate.
which is clearly saying these were not doctor prescribed. These are illicit drugs that he's using in high school. So
No, there's some distance between a nickname called red devils and illicit street drugs. And I don't know what the red devils he's referring to are, but it doesn't automatically mean they're illicit street drugs.
if you use pain pills without a prescription, that is illicit street drugs.
It is not. And you know that to be true.
I disagree, Your Honor.
It might be diversion of a prescribed substance, but it's not illicit street drugs.
They've certainly heard testimony from Mr. Crozier that he's selling oxycodone on the street that came from prescriptions. That's illicit street drugs.
I'm not sure you want to take that position going forward, but I don't endorse it in any respect. Certainly, we know.
Do it. She's going to do it. She is going to do it.
Oh,
He advised her
no.
not to. Oh my God. We should invite Nick on. He needs to be here for this meltdown. We
Oh,
thought it
he's-
was
it-
going to get bad. We had no idea it was.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean,
This is-
That
you,
diversion of
you have to make there is this additional leap because it could have been his own prescription. We don't know. He just
Yeah.
munches them down very, very often. That is
Y-
the information she needs from this witness. She can't just go right
I don't
ahead and
understand why
impeach
she-
him.
Yeah, I don't understand why she's so against the voir dire, because maybe she will get what she needs in the voir dire. Like, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, red devils are totally like early aughts fentanyl. That's exactly what we were doing it, snorting, between bathroom breaks. The- Why are you pissing off the judge? I don't get it. To get this in, which in the scheme of things,
prescribed legal medication is different than purchasing on the street prescription medication is different than purchasing non-FDA approved substances on the street. There is a range of conduct here, and the question asked by Mr. Bloodworth was specific.
Can we read back? Can we get it read back, what he asked? Do we have the transcript of the exact statement that Mr. Bloodworth just asked him?
State courts do not create transcripts.
I think we have someone doing it live right now.
When you say we, who are you referring to?
Ms. Payer?
She's not a court employee. I don't know what you're referring to.
If you can give me 5 minutes, I can email her and get the exact statement.
Sure.
Wait, they have someone, like, in chat typing down their transcript? What in the name of Hades is going on here?
While that occurs, I'm going to use the restroom. We'll take a recess until 10:35. All right.
And thank you so much, Holly Mack, for the $10 super chat, just because. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Well, I knew that everyone was going to be a little off this Monday, but I didn't expect this off. Oh, doesn't work as a pen. Nick, aren't you glad you got off of work early to see this?
Oh, hooray.
Thank you so much. This
Hey!
is so strange. I've also never seen anyone speak to, and he's been a fairly, like, really laid back judge, but you can tell
Here
he.
for this discussion.
Oh, wait.
As we
We're still on the first one.
All right, counsel, thank you for that break. A little bit more context here for this discussion. As we discussed on the record during the hearing on the parties' various motions in limine, the topic or the concept of whether Eric Richins used pain pills during his lifetime, prescription or non-prescription, illicit, that is relevant. But at the motion in limine hearing, and as I sit here right now, it's unclear as to whether there's any admissible evidence that he did. So, Ms. Nestor, I think the correct course forward, based upon where we are right now, is to allow you to voir dire Kouri Wright regarding his knowledge of the topic that he discussed at the preliminary hearing, having heard or known or learned somehow that Eric Richins used pain pills in high school and they were red devils. If that reference is to prescription pain medication, it impeaches Mr. Wright's testimony on the stand today that he's never known Eric to use prescription medication. If it's illicit street drugs, it impeaches his testimony that he's never known or heard about Eric using illicit street drugs. If he doesn't know what red devils are, we're all just speculating, including the jury, and that's not permissible. Mr. Bloodworth, any comment there?
Yeah. Ta-da!
Yeah,
Yeah.
Your Honor, I think Mr. Wright's testimony, let me grab the question. Was that he had never seen Eric Richins use prescription drugs or illicit drugs.
So let's see what he says on voir dire to see if it actually impeaches that or not.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm sensitive to the precision of the questions you were asking at various points.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Nestor, anything before we invite Mr. Wright back in
No,
for
sir.
that purpose?
No, sir.
I'm going to wait for Mr. Bertram to whisper in your ear.
Go ahead, call back.
Okay, very good. May we invite Mr. Wright back into the courtroom, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or you can pour yourself one.
So we want to just dig in a little bit to the question that you were asked on redirect.
now, if you just came in, this is voir dire, so the jury isn't in here, and she is trying to elicit what exactly red devils are.
Correct? When Mr. Bloodworth asked you if anyone had ever told you that Eric used illicit drugs. And I believe he said illicit street drugs. Does that sound right? Or do you recall?
Did he say illicit street drugs? Is that what you're asking?
What was your understanding of the question that he asked you at the very end about whether you'd ever heard about Eric using drugs?
Illicit street drugs.
Right. What was your understanding of that question?
If anyone had ever told me about him using an illicit street drug.
Okay.
Now, I'm not in the drug world. I have no clue what most drugs are categorized as. So
Did you talk to anyone outside in the hallway while you were waiting?
I did not.
Okay, just checking. Okay. So at the preliminary hearing,
Mhm.
we asked you some questions about whether you were aware that Eric used pain pills in high school. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And are you aware of that?
I was told that that had happened.
All right. And were you ever told about where he got those pain pills?
I have no idea where he got those pain pills from.
So when Mr. Bloodworth asked you earlier today if you were ever aware of Mr. Richins using prescription drugs, you said no.
Your Honor, that's not the question I asked.
Pause, Mr. Wright. If you would just object to foundation and restate the question for me.
Your Honor, objection foundation.
Let me ask you this way.
Sustained. Go ahead.
Do you, was it your understanding in high school when you had this knowledge that Mr. Richins was using these drugs illicitly? In other words, not with the prescription of a pharmacist?
I need you to be more precise in that question. Which drugs are you referring to?
The pain pills, sorry.
And if you would re-ask it, please.
Was it your understanding in high school when you knew about this that Mr. Richins was using his own prescription for pain pills or someone else's?
I learned about this later on in life, not in high school.
Okay, and what did you learn?
And I learned that he had taken pain pills in high school. That's what I had been told.
Without a prescription?
I didn't get asked if there was a prescription or not. I don't know.
All right, and then I think you said in the prelim that you thought they were called Red Devils, is that right?
That's what I was told.
And was it your understanding that Red Devils were an illicit street drug?
I don't know what an illicit street drug entails, but I assumed that the Red Devils were being abused, as that's what high school kids were doing.
So people were doing that in your school?
I heard that, yes,
And did you know what Red
later
Devils?
on in life.
What did you know what Red Devils were?
I learned later on what those were, yes.
What are those?
I believe it's Sudafed.
Oh, it's Sudafed?
I think.
That's what you were told, Kathy. If you listened to anyone who was maybe paying attention, you wouldn't look like a dumbass. Look at the woman behind Kouri smiling like, yeah, it's almost like you look like a dumbass now, Kathy.
Mm.
I'm not a drug person. I'm sorry.
Okay. Could be pseudoephedrine, maybe.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But that's what I think it is Sudafed being abused.
Okay. So when you testified at the preliminary hearing that you were aware in high school that Eric, or you became aware later that in high school Eric abused Red Devils and pain pills. Do you still stand by that today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, do you need more than that?
I understand Mr. Wright's testimony on the record.
Okay. Let me just think for 1 second if there's anything else. When you answered Mr. Bloodworth's question in front of the jury that you had not heard from anyone that Eric used illicit street drugs, that's except for what you heard about in high school?
Objection, Your Honor. The foundation.
I can ask him what his intention of his answer was, Your Honor. Did you intend to carve that out?
That's a fair question.
Can you restate that? I'm sorry.
You intend to carve out from that answer what you knew about high school?
What answer? Sorry.
From the answer that Mr. Bloodworth asked you in front of the jury, if anyone had ever told you or if you'd ever heard that Eric used illicit street drugs, did you intend to not include what you knew in high school? Are you carving that out?
If I said it that I was in high school, what I've been told about Eric is throughout my life. I don't know if it was exactly in high school. I don't know if it was in my early 20s or now. What I've been told over the years is that he had used those in high school, and that's what I know.
Right. And so if I were to ask you the question again that Mr. Bloodworth asked you, has anyone ever told you that Eric used illicit street drugs, and you included all the knowledge you have all the way back through what he did in high school, what would your answer be now?
I don't know what illicit street drugs entail.
Okay.
I've been told of some drugs that he used, and that's what I would testify to, is that I know that he used some drugs, form of drugs. I don't know what they are exactly. I don't know if they're illicit street drugs or not, but that he had used drugs at some point.
That's all she wants him to say.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much movement that's going to get for all of this.
Now, the state their wording here is very specific because they know the differences between all these things. That's why they constantly say illicit street drugs, because they don't want this in.
Yeah, but I don't think it moves the needle. If he was
No.
in high school, for as
Mm.
much as she's had to go through to get it in, I think there were better ways of getting something like this in.
Now,
Mr. Blake,
you don't know. It might be somebody in the jury who has the opinion, oh, once a user, always a user. There are those people out there.
Yeah, but there's a difference between kids popping some pain pills and Sudafeds and fentanyl.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying there are people out there
But
who sees fentanyl, marijuana, same thing.
yeah, and it could be. She may know the jury. I just this is such a weird tangent to go on.
But it is grasping at straws because that's all they have. They are looking for that one juror that will, yeah.
Yes. Well, look, they only need one person to bite, and then they get a mistrial.
Mr. Wright at this point, in terms of order.
Sir, is the only
Yeah.
drug that you've been told he used in high school the Red Devils?
In high school, yes.
You haven't heard of him using any other drug in high school other than marijuana? Let's just accept marijuana from this whole discussion, okay?
So
We're going to give you a freebie on the marijuana. Wait a minute. First, Eric never touched drugs. Now we're just going to throw in that he was on pot, okay? I mean, both sides look incredibly ridiculous here. I think that I understand why both sides had reasons that they wanted to come in or not come in. But in the grand scheme of things, the fact that we're fighting over what a red devil is hilarious to me. So I'm kind of here for it. But I don't think it's going to move the needle either way.
in high school, I was told that people were using Red Devils. I'd heard that Eric had popped pills.
Okay. And is your understanding was the pills that he popped were the Red Devils, or was it Red Devils and something else?
Understanding that a Red Devil is a pill, he popped pills, and I don't really know much more than that.
Okay.
I don't know what pills they were popping or anything to that extent.
Can I just follow up on that, Your Honor? So you mentioned in high school, like maybe there was after high school as well. Did I misread what you just said?
I have learned of these things through people over the years. I don't know this exact times and days that people have told me this knowledge.
Nick, I give you the next drug expert on the YSL continuing trials.
Yeah.
Eric popped pills in high school is what I've been told.
Beyond high school, do you have any knowledge if he popped pills?
I don't have any sure knowledge that he popped pills after high school.
Not sure knowledge, but if people told you that?
I have knowledge that he took THC gummies.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure because I heard that clarification, and I want to make sure we followed all the way through with it.
Great.
As far as you sit here today, other than what you heard about what he did in high school, and other than knowing about the THC gummies, have you heard from any other person that Eric used drugs in his lifetime?
No.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
I need to make you take a walk again.
Yeah.
Please don't speak to anybody in the lobby.
They're grasping at straws, and what if he said, well, I heard of his heroin addiction when he was 30. Or that's what they were hoping for, that please something more. But I think those are the questions.
Well, Your Honor, I mean, I think that this witness has now clarified that if he were to answer the question now, he would include that he was aware Eric popped pills in high school. He also heard that people in his high school were doing Red Devils. He said he assumed that's what Eric was doing, but he doesn't know. But he has knowledge that Eric was popping pills. This whole case is about a pill addiction. This whole case is about whether or not
Eric Richins voluntarily ingested that or if he was given it by his wife. This is a critical piece of the defense. He's been allowed to make a statement in front of the jury that we have now found out through voir dire is not 100% accurate on one of the core issues in this case. I'm only asking to impeach him. I can limit it to what he said in the prelim. We can go farther if you want us to, or we can limit it to what he said in the prelim. I'll do it either way. But I think to deny Ms. Richins the right to impeach him on something this critical to the defense and the prosecution, when the door was absolutely opened by the prosecution, would be reversible error. And we're asking that the court allow us to do that now.
Mr.
Oh, no.
Your Honor, they disagrees with all of that, including the veracity of some of that. The state reverts back to what we had briefed in motion, Sharon, by the way, that any relevancy to what happened in high school has decayed to zero 40 or 20 plus years later. The testimony at issue is Mr. Wright's response to the question of, did anyone ever tell you that
Yeah,
Eric
but
Richins used
sir,
illicit
didn't you
drugs?
brought in a
Which he
letter
responded,
from
Nothing
where she
in
talked
his
about
voir dire,
2012 and her childhood?
impeaches that testimony. Therefore, bringing in the preliminary hearing transcript or any further questioning on this, the preliminary hearing transcript or any further questioning on this is inadmissible.
All right. The case has to be tried based upon admissible evidence. And on both sides of the V, there are pieces of evidence that either the state or the defense has sought to admit that the court has ruled are not admissible. I'm required to apply the rules of evidence. We instruct the jury that the rules of evidence have developed over hundreds of years to make sure that trials are tried in a fair and impartial way. This issue developed in a way where defense counsel asked a question that elicited hearsay testimony regarding what Mr. Wright had heard about Mr. Richins' prior drug use generally. Whether or not that's what the defendant intended, that's what happened. So then, on redirect, the state asked two very specific questions to characterize that volunteering of hearsay by Mr. Wright. Whether they'd heard that Mr. Richins had used THC products, and whether he had ever heard that Mr. Wright used illicit street drugs. Nothing in his prior preliminary hearing testimony or during his voir dire outside the presence of the jury on the stand is admissible evidence contrary to his sworn testimony on the stand in front of the jury. His prior reference to Red Devils, he's now clarified as Sudafed, which is not pain pills to begin with. Moreover, he doesn't have any admissible testimony that Eric Richins used illicit drugs of any kind. This is hearsay. It is speculation. It's not admissible.
Your Honor, may I just make a record?
Of course.
Your Honor, it's our position that, first of all, when I asked the question, it was not objected to by the state. Second of all, I'd like to make the record that this would be for purposes of impeachment. This, to deny us this opportunity, is a violation of Crawford. It is a violation of our Sixth Amendment right to cross-examine. It is a violation of our due process right to a fair trial. We would be able to call, in our case, an expert who would testify that Red Devils were, in fact, PCP. In that period of time, they were not Sudafed. The DEA has a pamphlet on that. We're being denied that option. We're being denied the ability to attack the credibility of someone who has changed. Respectfully, we disagree with Your Honor's position on this. We think he absolutely changed his testimony, and we're being prohibited the right to impeach him on the fact he changed his testimony. And I believe that the question I would ask him, if I were allowed to go forward, would be, did you learn that Eric popped pills in high school? And that would impeach what he said to Mr. Bloodworth, unrebutted and not allowed to be rebutted by me when we know that I can rebut it. And we, on our strongest way possible, we object to this. We would like a continuing objection. We move to strike all of Kouri Richins' testimemy, all of the issues that Mr.
Whoa. You lost me.
On redirect, the redirect testimony,
Which
where,
piece?
where he answered the question that I'm not now being allowed to impeach him on. We're asking to strike it at the very minimum. All of the things that Mr. Bloodworth just brought up all go to weight, not admissibility. And
What is the non-hearsay route for this witness to testify regarding what he heard, if it's coming in for the truth of the matter, sir?
it's not. It's coming in to impeach that once the court allowed him to answer that question with hearsay, to rebut the hearsay that we elicited
But
unintentionally.
what's the evidence that he heard prior to today, testifying today, that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs?
He just testified to it on the stand.
That is not true.
Okay, well, we agree to disagree on that, Your Honor.
Have you disclosed that expert that would provide a non-speculative basis that Red Devils are an illicit street drug?
We have disclosed that expert. His name is Mr. Kearney. He is on our list. He's been available. We did not know the Red
Kearney?
Devil stuff was coming in until 10 minutes ago.
Aiden, what
because
the
you were
fuck?
told-
Coming in.
Well, okay. Well, that's obvious then. I mean, we did the best we could. We gave him our drug expert that as soon as the Red Devils comes in, we can let them talk to him about that because we sure would go into that with our expert, that we're now being denied the ability to do that. There is a key question here, Your Honor. If Eric Richins had a drug problem, and if he did, Ms. Richins is innocent, and we are being prohibited from going into that with the one person who knows. And I just think that the veracity of this witness on this topic cannot be underestimated for purposes of the defense. I know you disagree with us. I believe I've made my record. Yes, he's changed his story. He's now saying he's never heard that Eric used drugs when he knows in the prelim that he did. And I just think this is just a huge, huge impediment to us to put on a fair trial in this case. And I believe I've made my record. I can't think of anything else I need to say on the record. Thank you for letting me make a proffer.
Okay. Are you asking me to strike Mr. Wright's answer that he's never heard that Eric used illicit street drugs?
Yes.
On which basis? On what basis?
On the fact I'm not allowed to impeach him on it, and we all know it's not a correct answer.
You certainly can impeach him on it if you have any evidence that it's impeachable.
No, any other way to show it to the court other than what we've already done.
Okay.
Can
I want to be clear. There's just no evidence that Kouri Wright believes that Red Devils are illicit street drugs.
But he separated the Red Devils from the popping pills. He separated that.
No, I
He
with
did?
respect, he didn't. But
Okay, well, I think the transcript will reflect it.
All right. Let me pause. Anything further?
If they are going to try to say that in this Mormon town the high schoolers did PCP,
Yeah, they were all doing
you're going to be laughed out of court.
they
Where was it called PCP at that point in time, 20 odd years ago?
where were the PCP manufacturers in Utah?
Mr. Bloodworth, a direct question. I need to exercise a measure of humility here. Is the state sure that you don't want to just get this out on the record to insulate the potential of a verdict on appeal? You now know what Mr. Wright's going to say. And if you need to confer with your team, I'm happy to give you a moment.
Yes, Your Honor, let me take a moment. to
Oh
confirm
no,
kind of
you
record on one thing,
idiot.
though.
Oh no,
Let me
you
brief
more.
the court the
I
expert
found
disclosure
it.
as relates to-
I don't know that we need to get into that at this
Can you
moment.
pause?
I won't be basing anything I do on that.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's a new one.
Mm. One of the things that is called Red Devils back in the day, dextromethorphan,
Oh, dextromethorphan. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
cold
which was
suppressant, I think.
which was back in the day known as poor man's PCP, not PCP. Oh no, oh no. What this expert probably told her is that at one point it was called this thing, blah 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 blah, poor man's PCP, and she just heard PCP. Oh.
Well, not to mention, wouldn't there be lung problems? I mean, again, wouldn't there be indications that he was a PCP addict?
Well, they might try to say, well, all of this stone dust, some of it is PCP. No, it's not. Oh, you idiot.
Oh, dear
No.
Lord. My brain hurts.
Mm.
Can I step back?
DXM was once upon a time called poor man's PCP. And that is what she...
We're still going forward. We're off the record for the moment.
State is comfortable with the court's ruling in the record.
Okay. Very good. Court stands on its ruling. Anything else before we invite Mr. Wright back in and the jury? Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Can't
And
remember,
if
did we?
kids at a school started
I'm not
popping,
persuaded to provide
started
any
using
evidence to
PCP,
strike
there would be on the
Mr.
news.
Yeah. There would be a dateline if there was an entire high school in Utah in the early aughts that all the kids started just ODing on PCP.
Wright's statement that he's never been told that Eric Richins used illicit street drugs.
I understand your ruling. I just can't remember how we ended it with the witness because so much has happened. So,
I think you had the witness on recross.
I approached before I recrossed. Okay, thank you for helping me remember.
Do you have any recross questions within the scope of redirect?
Can you give me just 1 minute?
Of course.
I think the state might have been a little too generous with the "we're gonna be done by tomorrow morning."
Under the bridge, and I just had to get back to where we were. I think I do have a quick recross within the scope of this redirect.
Very good. If we could invite the jury back in, please.
So I can't remember what they were talking about is whether he is going to strike the last statement that the defense wanted from the state. And then he asked her if she had any more questions on cross that were within the new scope of what she could ask. And she said there were a couple. She's not having a good day.
Oh, well, we'll invite back in. If you can get him. Thanks, mister. At the time.
Yes, impeaching the witness is off the table because there was no way for her to get to kind of what he had said in his original testimony without going through hearsay. She had kind of unfortunately opened the door to a little bit of hearsay, but there was no way she was going to be able to get to his statement back then, especially without him knowing what red devils are or anything.
Please have a seat as you come in. All right, folks, have a seat. Mr. Wright, if you would take the stand again, I'd appreciate it. Mr. Wright, you're still under oath. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're almost done. You mentioned just now to Mr. Bloodworth, or a few minutes ago, it's been a minute now, that you were aware that Eric used THC gummies, right?
I heard that he did that, yes.
Okay. Do you have any personal knowledge as to how often he would use THC gummies?
No idea.
Do you know why he used them?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know why he would have used them.
And do you have any personal knowledge about where he obtained his gummies from?
Zero.
Okay. So that was just a part of his life he didn't share with you.
Correct.
And on the truck, when you sent whoever, I know you said you don't remember, Mr. Bloodworth just talked to you about a date. The work truck, not the red one, but the work truck, you guys got that just within a day or two after he passed, correct?
The work truck was picked up within a few days.
Okay. And then the truck that you took from the dealership was about a month later.
Or so, yeah, months later.
I just wanted to make that clarification. Thank you. That's all I have. We tender the witness, Sean.
No, Your Honor.
No, you idiot. That
Let
was
me
the
finish with this.
important part was that
You
he
are free to
hid
go.
it
You are
from
free to-
people, not what he may or may not have used. The important part is that he hid it unsuccessfully, somewhat. But so all this for Red Devils that wasn't coming in, and maybe something in high school that didn't come in. No, you idiot, you moron. The important thing here is that Eric hid.
Yeah,
His
he compartmentalized. He didn't share
Yeah.
what he was doing with people that would disapprove of it.
Follow up with the question, well, if he hid the gummies from you, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable for you to think that he might have hid other things from you as well? Which would be objected because it's vague. But there are ways to ask these questions. Not that he's an unreliable witness, because he is a reliable witness, but the focus on this witness should always have been that he hid stuff from his own business partner.
Yeah, that would have been a much better, more important thing to say. Maybe ask if his personality had changed, if there were things that he, was there more friction? I mean, because there's a lot of things they're having to tiptoe around because I'm guessing they're part of her other financial shenanigans trial. But yeah, it's almost like the defense looked through and they found red devils. They talked to one drug expert and they're like, we got this. So my guess was they were waiting for this person so they could bring the red devils in. Because I don't know what their expert's going to talk about now.
From the subpoena, you can talk to anybody you'd like. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state calls Matthew Throckmorton.
Very good. Mr. Throckmorton, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Oh, economics.
If you'll please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court?
They
is
have
the
not
truth, the whole truth, and
done the
nothing but
walk the dog
truth,
letter
and
yet.
nothing but perjury?
I think that would be the absolute last thing they talk about in the case in chief.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is George Matthew Throckmorton. That's Throckmorton.
Sir, are you employed?
Yes, I
How?
work full-time for the Salt Lake City Police Department in the crime lab as a crime scene investigator with a specialty in forensic document examination.
Okay. How long have you been with Salt Lake City as a crime scene?
27 years.
And what is a forensic document examiner?
Forensic document examiner is an individual who examines and compares writing in an attempt to determine identity, authorship, or authenticity. This includes the examination of handwriting, erasures, inks, papers, basically anything related to documents.
So how long have you been doing that forensic document examination?
30 years.
Okay. Did you have any special training that you've done just specifically for FDE?
Yes. I apprenticed with my father, George Throckmorton. It's about 4,000 hours of training in casework and study over a 2-year time period. I also trained with other document examiners at the Southwestern Association of Forensic Document Examiners. I completed courses through the Institute of Applied Science in Chicago. I also was trained at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, and have trained with other document examiners and attended courses and conferences throughout the United States.
Have you practiced this FDE or forensic document examination with other labs?
No, just pretty much my own.
So did you do something with the state lab in Montrose, Colorado?
I did train with other document examiners at the state lab in Montrose.
Okay. So you didn't practice, you were in training?
It was part of my apprenticeship.
I see. Okay. Have you had to maintain continuing training
Yes.
in the intervening years?
Yes. I've attended various courses and conferences put on throughout the United States.
Have you given presentations yourself at such conferences?
Yes. I've actually been a guest instructor at the Salt Lake Community College, as well as the University of Utah at the law department. I've trained at the Utah Post Academy, helping police officers understand what a forensic document examiner is and how they can help them with their cases. I've also trained employees at American Express to detect potential forgeries. And I've also taught classes at the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification. That's the largest and oldest forensic organization in the world.
Are you a member of that organization?
Yes, I am.
Do you belong to a particular section of the IAI?
Yes, I belong to the question document section.
So over the last 30 years, this may seem like kind of a dopey question, but have you ever had the opportunity to examine question documents?
Yes, I've worked on over 1,500 individual cases over 30 years.
And have you ever testified in court as a forensic document examiner?
I've testified 61 times, 48 times as a question document examiner.
Oh, he's thorough.
In the world of forensic document
like him.
examination, are there some basic underlying principles upon
Great,
which the science
stoic.
rests?
I
Yes.
only care about
Yes,
documents.
no two
Documents all my
people-
life.
Right, exactly the same way. That's to say that no two individuals share all the same characteristics and habits, given the proper quantity and quality of documents to compare to show that their writing is different.
Okay. Before
Yeah.
we move on to the
Oh,
second, I
this
wanted
this
to just very briefly go
this is
into
my
just-
area. I used to work as a documents analyst in the European Union.
Oh,
Yeah. So this
So-
is stuff I have done.
so do you like test the ink or just
No.
look at? Oh.
It is it's not the ink or anything like that. It is the pattern of how you write. You use certain
Oh,
favorite words, favorite phrases. You misspell certain words. That way, it becomes recognizable.
okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were going to work with like lasers. I could imagine like Nick putting on a little lab coat and he's like, "Come on, we got to get the red light," and he's like,
No, there are a bunch of programs out there that helps, but it usually starts with, this is odd, when you have the document in front of you, and then you have to now I have to backtrack it and
yes.
see in what rendition of this particular document did things change. Then you can trace it back to a certain lobbyist firm or a certain politician that's not supposed to be on that specific area. So that's what I did for 3 years in the European Union, or in
Kouri's
the
like
EU Parliament for some of the members of Parliament.
Thor, stop for the love of God. See, at least Mr. Jingles boops and stays. No, Thor is like, I will make you notice me, Dan.
of habits. When you're talking about, what do you mean by habits of writing? I guess just have you explain it.
Habits are part of an individual's writing where most of the time they really don't even know what those habits are. They're just writing, trying to create either a letter or they're signing their name. And as they have learned to write over the years, they pick up different characteristics and habits within that writing. That could be how they cross the T as the crown at the top of the staff,
that's not what I
leading
did.
part of the staff or down closer to the baseline.
He's
When
a
they write
it's a
ER
handwriting
combination, for
expert.
example,
No,
is
I
that
retract.
even
I
are-
don't like him. I do not like this person. This is a shit science.
Yeah, I thought with the phraseology and how you word things, the way
Yeah.
your sentence syntax,
Yeah.
that's what I thought he was going into. But no, this is where you cross your T.
Yeah. No. Oh no. I so wanted to like this guy, but it's a handwriting
You have
expert.
better hair than him.
Yeah. Oh no.
Daylight savings time and this guy?
No.
Nuts.
Handwriting experts are good for if you need to this card is signed by this person, and then they have a bunch of other things to compare it with, and in their opinion, yes, it's a match. Opinion! It's not a fucking science.
Yeah.
Ballistic analyst or science handwriting analyst? What's the worst? It depends on how they claim to reach their conclusion. There are actually a few good ones out there, ballistic experts, who has no issues with, yeah, I can't exclude it. Where others would have, this is definitely it because you paid me to say it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's very pedantic and
Yeah,
analytical.
I hope so.
Or vice versa. Are those two letters connected, or is there a pen lift between those two letters? Is the U more rounded or a little more pointed? So they just develop and use
You have
these
a pointy
habits,
U, Nick?
as they write different types of things or sign their name.
So when we first learn to write, we're writing careful what our teacher is teaching us. And then as we go on later in life, we become more concerned with the content and not the formation of the letters. Those are just subject to habit.
That is correct. We learn a textbook style of writing in school. We're just trying to duplicate what we see. Again, more concerned with making it look like how we see it. And again, concentrating, like you said, more on what it looks like. As our skill level increases, we're more concerned with the content of what we're writing, whether it's assigning our name or whether it's the letter that we're trying to write to somebody. And the longer we write, those characteristics and habits just become muscle memory to us, and we don't necessarily think about how we're writing letters and formations. We're more concerned with what we're writing.
Okay, we've talked about individuality. What's the other principle upon which your science rests?
That an individual can't make all of the variables the same to make two pieces of writing the same as one another. There's always going to be a natural variation that occurs as we write our name. You're not going to find two signatures that are an overlay. There's always going to be a little bit of difference in how those look or in a body of writing.
Okay, so are there studies out there where researchers have looked at these principles?
Yes.
Okay. Could you very briefly go into this idea of individuality?
Absolutely. There's a study done called Cedar Fox out of the University of Buffalo in New York. And the premise of the study was to test the theory that no two people share all of the same characteristics and habits within their writing. And what they did is they had 1,500 participants of varying ethnic backgrounds, age, and gender. The objective was to make it similar to what the population makeup was for the United States. They had these 1,500 individuals write some handwriting specimens. These specimens were put into a computer. They picked 8 characteristics out of the writing and had the computer analyze those 8 characteristics. It was determined with a 98% confidence level that no two individuals wrote those 8 characteristics exactly the same way.
98%.
Okay. Are there
Yes.
studies that
So,
have looked
percentage, 2 out of 100. Percentage, 2 out of 100. 20 out of 1,000.
Yeah.
200 out of 10,000. 2,000 out of 100,000. Yeah, 98% sounds good until you put it in perspective. 98% is not a science. Here's what science does, what is considered. Now we go from a hypothesis to a theory in this collider down in Switzerland or wherever it is. You know, the thing that's been
Oh yeah, the
particle collider.
Yeah.
They need down to the 7th decibel before they go from, yeah, now it's confirmed. So 99.9999999. That's when it goes from hypothesis to yes, our theory was correct and it is confirmed.
Yeah, and if you're, handwriting changes within a course of a letter due to, muscle fatigue or anything like that. There are so many variations that, yes, you could probably indicate that this handwriting could be related to this person, but it's not a fingerprint. I don't like it. And no, legally my hair is blonde. Um, but I consider that my driver's license should just have hair under subject to change. So is he gonna bring in the walk the dog letter or hmm.
And the ability of a trained document examiner versus lay people on their abilities.
Yes, there's been a number of studies over the years. Cedar Fox also did a study of twins, again, to differentiate if the writing of twins could be seen as it was different one from another. In that particular study, they hired lay people to do the examination. The computer did an examination, and they also had intern document examiners look and do those comparisons. In that particular study, it was determined that the computer had about a 9% error rate in differentiating writing one twin from another. It was determined that the lay people had a larger percentage of an error rate, and that the intern document examiners had a
So the computer had a 10% error rate and it was better than the humans. Did the
How the
computer
fuck
take a
is
look?
this even allowed into court when people are fighting over DNA, which is in the top layer of, is it really this person with the alleles or something? Yeah, it's only 10% off. How the fuck is that even allowed to be coming close to a courtroom?
Yeah, and this is like someone just had an idea that twins, again, okay.
about a 5% error rate in differentiating writing one from another.
Those are interns, not fully trained. Okay.
Correct.
Now, were there some studies known as Cam being one of the authors of these studies that also look into the abilities of a trained examiner versus layperson?
Yes, Professor Moshe Kam out of Drexel University did a number of studies. And in his studies, he had lay people do examinations as well as document examiners from intern to those that had completed the 4,000 hours of training. Throughout his studies, he determined that lay people made larger mistakes in doing their examinations, and that document examiners, starting as interns, going to the fully trained, that their error rates were less than the lay people, and that the fully trained document examiners had about a 4% error rate.
Okay. Now,
4%.
how
Okay, so
did you explain to the jury?
you 4,000 out of 100,000, you can't distinguish from each other. How the
Hey, Nick, we're just gonna get through this. This is not a science. Just keep telling yourself it's not a science.
Yep.
It sounds about how my birth control works. Look, for 98% of the people, this is totally normal, but you're just weird.
You do in this comparison process?
Yes. In this particular case, I was given.
Just very briefly, generally, you receive question documents and known documents?
Correct. I received a stack of documents. First
Known
of all, I
doc-
separate the question from the known. I go over each page individually, looking for comparison between whatever has been questioned versus the undisputed known samples that I receive. I compare.
So no blind testing.
My findings, one from another. Then I evaluate those findings in order to render an opinion.
So this process, does it include digitizing the documents? Say they come on paper, do you reduce them to some digital format?
I scan everything first of all, to preserve the evidence. Documents, I'll scan the whole document, and as well as the signatures or the questionnaire individually, and then same with the known samples.
I see. And when you're...
So isn't the computer the real expert? Can we get the program that you use to compare all these things? I mean, I get that there are going to be some computer or automation in things, but this seems like the computer's doing the lion's share of the work, and then you're going back and correcting for mistakes the computer might have made.
When you're doing that, do you then do a side-by-side comparison, or do you do a question and then knowns? How does that work?
Yes, I do a juxtaposition examination, which is comparing the question versus the known side by side, looking for similarities and differences that may be amongst the writing.
Okay. What are you looking for? These habits you mentioned before?
Yes, I'm looking for everything in the writing, just looking for, again, similarities and differences, looking for evidence that will basically say, was this authored by the same person, or was it authored by two different people? I look for letter formations. I look for proportion between letters. I look for where the writing sits within a margin. Is it closer to the right, left? Is it on, above, or below a baseline? Looking for shading, where darker areas of the writing may be. Just basically looking for everything on the documents to compare.
Okay, so when you're doing...
Does this look like Kouri's?
Step right up to the miracle station. We've got justice in a jar on sale. Wave a lab coat, sprinkle Latin, sign your name, then set that scale. Look, a scratch on a screwdriver. Look, a pattern on a shell. Call it tool mark analysis, baby. That's how they send you to a cell. It's a shit science and you know it, but they sell it with a wink and a grin. Draw a line, call it math. Write a number on a latch, then they swear that the truth's locked in. It's science. Show us in a lab coat, give the jury one more magic trick to quote. They clap, they sigh while a life goes by. On a shit science song and dance they buy. Open wide, says the expert smiling. Let me measure every jagged tooth. Bite mark analysis on a bruise in a photo. They announce they've discovered the truth. Here's a cheat, here's a mold, here's a slideshow. Turn the guests into gospel on a screen. They don't mention all the bodies that this carnival left in between. It's a shit science, and you know it, but they built it like 11 o'clock tune. They project, they breathe, they perform on the stand while a family waits for it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're not going to get an interview with him after this.
No.
Doing this comparison, do you consider the underlying facts of the case you're working on?
No, I just look at the evidence sitting in front of me.
You just look at the known samples you have in front of you without blind testing.
For evidence one way or another on that.
Okay. When IAI, or I think you've mentioned earlier, you talked about the Southwest Association of Forensic Document Examiners, SWEDOC, or somebody, does somebody give you a set of standards for your conclusions?
Yes, there's a set of standardized opinions that initially was put together in 1977 by the ABFDE, the American Board of Forensic Document Examiners. In 2016, SWEDOC, which is the
we told each other we are so good.
The AFBD, the a really fucking big deal. This is why I'm not allowed in science.
The working group for forensic documents took that standardized group of opinions and made it their own.
Okay.
And that's the scale that I use today.
Okay. Can we briefly review what that scale is?
Sure. The first one is an identification. Identification means that the questioned and known signatures agree in every observable detail and that there's no unexplainable differences or variations present. The opinion below that is highly probable or strong probability.
That it was authored by that person?
By the same person, correct.
Okay.
And that means that there was either something that was different between the question on it, might be a feature was missing, the way a letter was connected. It also might be the difference looking from an original document a copy of a document that I didn't have the original. I was only looking at a copy. I didn't have best evidence. So because I can't tell the origin of the document, I'll drop that down from an identification to a highly probable or strong probability. The opinion below that is a probable, and a probable means that a majority of the evidence says that the question and known document was authored by the same person. But the reason that it would be dropped to a probable could be, again, that it's a copy. Could be that there were signatures that were out of the timeline than the question document was. So I don't have maybe current documents to look at. The opinion under that is an indication, and an indication means that most of the evidence says that the question and known were authored by the same person, but again, might be dealing with a copy, might not have as many signatures as I would like to have in doing that comparison, so it drops it to an indications. The next opinion is a no conclusion, and this is basically, I couldn't tell one way or the other whether it was authored or not authored by who it purports to be.
Then it continues towards exclusion in a reverse sequence. So indications it was not authored by, followed by probable not authored by, highly probable not authored by, and then an exclusion.
An elimination.
Elimination, that's the word, okay. In your process, then do you somehow try to verify what your opinion is?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Usually I'll contact a peer, another forensic document examiner, and have them review a blind examination of the same evidence that I looked at.
What is a blind view?
That means that they don't know what my opinion is, that they're going to do their own examination and come up with their own conclusion.
Okay. Now, are these the principles and methods accepted in your field?
Yes.
And are those the methods and principles that you applied in this case?
Yes.
Okay. So did you receive a question writing in this case?
I did.
Okay. Can we, I think it's been offered and accepted, 7-21.
One moment, please. Would you like to publish, Mr.?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
7-21 is published.
Okay. Let's just scroll through it from top to bottom just to refresh the jury. Okay. So that's page 2. Let's go return then to page 1. Do you recognize this, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is this the question document?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what did you receive? A copy or an original? And if a copy, what type of copy?
I believe on this one I had a PDF copy.
Okay. Is that a good thing?
Have
or a
you
bad
ever
thing
gotten
for
a
your
PDF
purposes?
copy that's
PDF
absolute
is,
horse
not
shit?
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it doesn't catch all the ink.
I would think this would be the one time that you would need to have the physical copies.
Yeah.
Quality of document.
Why is that?
First of all, obviously best evidence is the original document.
Okay.
Next best evidence would be a photocopy of that document.
Okay.
And then a PDF comes after a regular photocopy.
Sure, but what is it because of when? Is there some limitation on PDFs that, for your purposes?
Yes. If I could talk about photocopies first.
Sure.
A
No.
photocopy is a distorted
not
picture
using
of an original
photocopies.
document. The problem with a photocopy is it's a picture that is slightly smaller than the original document. There is the colors are not as vivid or clear. The tones may be less vivid as well. In some cases, in photocopies, writing pen strokes can diminish and in some cases disappear. There's also marks that can appear on the photocopy that weren't on the original document. These are called trash marks. Trash marks can occur from damage or dirt on the scanner glass, as well as wear and tear on the inner workings of a photocopy machine. So it's going to change or alter the evidence a little bit. The PDF has a lot of the same problems with it. The problem with the PDF is there's no default setting. So depending on the software or where it was made, if it was made on a computer with a scanner, or if it was made on a copy machine, or in some cases a cell phone, it changes and alters the document, makes it so that kind of the overall appearance looks good, but if you were to try and enlarge or zoom into a particular area, it will pixelize and get rid of some of the finer details that you would have in the original or in a copy.
Okay. So In this case, did you receive some known documents?
Yes, I did.
Okay, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm handing the witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 8-49. Can you take a look at that and review it for a moment?
Yes. Counsel, my apologies for interrupting your question. Make a note of this one. We'll come back to it. I need to take a quick break.
Yes.
Please rise for the jury.
Yeah, not only do they have 2 to 4% wrong, now they are using the third best option, which should increase this error rate exponentially.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a seat, please. Okay. Mr. Throckmorton, you take a 5-minute break. We'll just say until 11:40. All right. Please do not speak to anyone during the break.
Yes, sir.
I know you've done this before.
Yes.
Very good, sir. Thank you. We'll be in recess until 11:40. Thank you. Court's off the record.
In the world?
I was hoping that they were seeking to, hey, strike this. This is nowhere near correct evidence. It's very prejudicial to have him talking about the third best, having the
Well,
third best
yeah.
option
Yeah, so
to
did
draw
he,
a conclusion from.
well, I mean, if he knows it's the third best and he's an expert, did he not ask for better ones? Did they
Yeah.
courier him over, the original? And I guess I thought he was the one that was going to be bringing in the walk the dog letter, or at least authenticating that it was her handwriting, not.
Yeah. Yeah. By comparing the walk the dog letter with her from that weird spa they went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't. Well, I mean, wait, the two financial things were insurance. Maybe we're finally getting to where she lied on insurance forms.
Yeah,
Finally.
yeah, but not through him. He's there to say, yeah, it was her and nobody else.
Yeah, I just couldn't place why we were even talking to him, and then I finally remembered she was accused of doing some sort of shenanigans with life insurance twice.
Maybe they are mistaken hearsay from hearses and gummies for
Ms.
drops.
Nestor, ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good.
I guess.
Probably.
We have yet to get to why we're talking about what best practices he's using.
Yeah.
Please have a seat as you come in. Have a seat, thank you. I promise I'm paying attention to the temperature. We're trying to adjust as we go. Mr. Throckmorton, you're still under oath. Mr. Burmester, please proceed.
Sir, this State's Exhibit 849, have you had a chance to look through the various documents that are in 849?
Not yet.
Do those look familiar to you, sir?
Yes,
How are they familiar?
these were the undisputed known samples that I received in preparation to compare the signature on the true stage to the signatures and initials found in these known documents.
And signatures?
Correct.
Okay. And where did you get them from?
A majority of these documents were received from Katie's attorneys. And
Is that the law firm Bennett Tuller?
yes,
And so initially, were you hired by the trust or the Tuller or
I was
Or
hired by
Katie?
the attorneys at Bennett Tuller
Okay.
who were working for Katie, Eric's sister.
okay. And how much were you paid by the
I received
Bennett Tuller?
a $900 retainer to help with that.
Okay. Since that time, have
This
you
they
been
can use.
hired by Summit County?
Yes, I have.
Can you briefly describe what is this collection of documents that are contained in 849?
There was canceled checks, driver's licenses, just various documents that Eric had authored and signed over the course of his regular daily activities.
Was there a trust and a will?
There might be amongst the documents.
Okay,
There's also tax documents
I
and
see.
receipts.
I see. Okay. Now, there were some other documents like that appear to be like photographs maybe of a journal, a mission journal,
Yes,
and a photograph of some appear to be written coupons.
yes.
Those documents, where did you get them?
I received them from your office.
Chelsea Gibson? to be
That's
precise?
correct.
Okay. How did that delivery take place?
She met me at the Salt Lake City Police Department in the parking lot and gave me a thumb drive that contained all of those photographs.
Okay. The other documents, the ones from Bennett Tuller, were they paper or were they electronic?
There were some hard copies and there were also some digital PDFs that were sent to me.
Okay. Did you go, well, let me ask this. How many actual signatures of Eric Richins did you receive in all those documents contained in 849?
I found that there were 86 signatures and 24 sets of initials.
And did you do a comparison like you described earlier with the digitizing and then going through the analyze, compare, evaluate, verification?
Yes, I compared the question signature versus the 86 known signatures and 24 initials, looking for similarities and differences.
Okay. Were you able to come to a conclusion yourself?
And all of
Yes, I
it
was.
And did
known
you send that out
samples.
for a verification, a blind, as you said, a blind verification?
Yes,
To whom?
to my friend in Colorado, her name is Darla McCleary Celentano.
And
that-
was she able to come to a conclusion?
Object to hearsay.
Seriously, that's not blind test. Blind test
No.
is when you have a number of samples and you don't know which one is correct. That's blind testing. What he's explaining here is verification, but it's
Or
still
peer review.
or peer review, where she doesn't know who it is, but she still knows it's known samples. Can you match that signature to these samples? That's not blind testing. Why?
Yeah, would you approach for a moment, Mr. Burmester?
This trial is
Why,
working
why,
on.
why can't this be Friday?
I don't know why it feels like a Friday.
I don't need a shot glass for this. I need a pitcher.
It's only Monday.
Okay. Let's take a look. Did you prepare a slide for the jury to look at in preparation for your trial or for trial today?
Yes.
Okay. Can we take a look at just to the witness and counsel 8-28, please?
The witness has it.
Okay. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Would that be helpful in communicating your testimony today?
Yes.
State would offer State's Exhibit 8-28 and ask for permission to be published.
No objection.
828 is admitted and published.
Okay. Let's set aside 828. Well, why don't you orient us first? What does 828 show us?
828 is an exhibit that shows the question signature at the top, taken from the true stage document.
Okay.
And the Q stands for question. 3 is the series of documents. Page is page 2, and A is the first signature used on that document. The signatures, the 10 signatures below, are samples taken from the known signatures that I received and initials to compare. Again, K stands for known, 1 stands for the group of documents, P stands for the page, so page 2, and again, A is the first signature on that page that was used.
So 849 is all the Ks, and this particular one is from the first tab.
Correct.
I see. Okay. Now, let's take a look at 7-21, please. This is page 2 of 721?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, which looks like there's a couple signatures on this page. What one were you focusing on?
The one on the right, the one that purports to be Eric.
Okay. And then, so did you take the one from the true stage and then put it into your exhibit?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the one that we have. We just don't have, you didn't add the date that it was given.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We can go back to 828, please. Were you able to come to a conclusion?
Yes.
Okay. What was that conclusion?
My conclusion was that there was no evidence that Eric authored this signature.
Okay.
And that he probably did not, and that it appeared to be a simulated forgery written by somebody who was familiar, had access to his writing in an attempt to copy, draw, or duplicate his signature and try and pass it off as a genuine signature.
Didn't we already know this?
Okay.
Yeah, but how did you come to that conclusion? What specific demarcations?
What was the actual verification system you used? Did you put them over each other? Did you grade it?
Yeah.
I don't if you have a conclusion, it's like I hate it. Math. Yeah, I can see the answer, but often, but how did you get there? It's like my dad jokes around, he's so good at fast multiplication. Okay, so we challenge him. What is 95 times 130? And he says 4,335. And then we say, no, that's wrong. Yes, but I was fast.
Sounds like something I would say. Give you an answer quickly. like it.
We'll come back to this in 1 second. Your Honor, could the witness step down with the microphone? And
Okay,
let's
so he's
just
going to
look
show.
at 828.
Because I mean, it looked
It's
okay
up
to me.
to
We have
you,
one.
you,
There
your.
appears to be one that's in yellow. It looks like it's been highlighted. Has it been highlighted?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, that one came from an NCR copy. It was a yellow piece of paper. All I did was crop the signature off that paper
Okay.
to put it on this document.
All right. Could you explain to the jury how your analysis went?
Sure. First thing, in looking at the question signature on this, it's basically EER. And the way that the E is formed starts at the top, comes down, creates the first semicircle, comes to a point, and then comes back down towards the baseline. When it gets to the baseline, it shoots off to the right. Then a line comes down towards the baseline, continues up to create the second E, which is leaning a little further over. This E is not as defined, a little more loosely made. When we get to the second portion of the E, it shoots over to the right to
That's
start
an E?
the letter R, which creates a kind of a triangle formation there, then goes up and creates kind of an arc, kind of more squared than normal, comes back down towards the baseline from towards the baseline and then shoots off over to the right and terminates. A couple things that stuck out to me on this signature. This is what's called a one-stroke signature. That means that the writing instrument
One stroke.
starts and continues all the way
It didn't
through
have
to the
ED?
end. There are no pen lifts. As well, within the signature, the things that stick out again is their pen lifts are not found here. If you look at the known samples from Eric, you'll notice that there's a pen lift between each of the letters, a pen lift between the E and the E, pen lift between the E and the R. And that's a consistent characteristic and habit that Eric has. The other thing too is the second E actually starts at the baseline. You'll notice that on the known E's, the E's start up top in a normal fashion. That they always start at the top. They don't start at the baseline like this one does. The other thing too
I thought that was an R.
is this R again, where it's
I thought
connected,
it was a
actually
butterfly.
starts down closer to the baseline and then comes up.
Maybe a
You'll
goldfish, but
notice
I don't
in
remember
these
why.
E's, or in the R's, that they start at
R's.
the top, like we traditionally learn how to do in school. You've got a line that comes down, pen comes off the paper, and then the second part of the R is made. You can see the staff of the R here, staff here. So a couple of things that stuck out to me that were not
Man's
common among
talking
his
about
writing
staffs
again
all
is
over the
We've
place.
got a single one-stroke signature instead of pen lifts. The E, second E starts at the bottom at the baseline, and the R starts at the bottom at the baseline. It was by looking at these characteristics in comparison that I was able to render an opinion that the question and known signatures were not authored by the same person.
Okay. Take a seat, please.
I thought they said they had 60, 70
Now,
samples.
your opinion
Why
was
is
that
it
it was
only showing
probably not signed
10?
by Eric Richins. Why probably not as opposed to elimination?
Because I was dealing with a photocopy, the true stage was a photocopy of a document. Basically, I'm missing evidence. So as a conservative opinion, instead of
You're
an
missing
absolute
evidence
elimination,
and is
it's
still allowed to talk about it.
closer to a little weaker than that. So it was a probable as well. I couldn't identify who the author of that signature was. In the case of a simulated forgery, the author gives up their own habits and characteristics to try and copy, draw, or duplicate somebody else's. So because I was not able to determine
So
who
it's
was
a little better than
authoring
maybe,
this,
and I don't know.
basically, I came back
Yeah.
to that there was no evidence that Eric did it, but I couldn't determine who actually authored it.
Okay, so your final conclusion then is also that there is no evidence, that you could find nothing in the knowns that would support the question document was signed by Eric.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have for this witness. I have.
Please let it be spray time, guys.
Of course.
I know. Keep us awake because I'm about ready to
May it
take a
please the
nap.
No.
Oh God, no.
Almost good afternoon, good morning still, sir.
Both Nick and I. God
No.
no. God no.
No.
No. God.
Good morning.
My name's Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Kouri Richins.
Okay.
So I want to first talk about your, I guess we call it your curriculum vitae, which is a fancy way of saying your resume, right?
Oh God, she's already annoying already. You could have just said CV, although
Yeah.
I am proud that you learned Latin.
Mm.
Correct.
And I reviewed that that you gave to us. And can you tell me, sir, is there a difference between a document fraud examiner and a certified forensic document examiner? I said it wrong the first time. I'm gonna
Oh,
get
for
it
the
right.
love of fuck. Learn the words.
Forensic document examiner is your title, correct?
That's correct.
And is there a difference between a forensic document examiner and a certified forensic document examiner?
Certified examiner is somebody that belongs to an organization that they pay and that they recognize him or them or her as part of their group.
So it's not
It's not
certified.
just payment. They also take a test, right?
Depends on the organization.
And in fact, there was an organization, there's an organization that accredits these organizations, and it's called the Forensic Specialties Accreditation Board. Is that right? Do you know what that is?
That's one of them.
And they are people who accredit these organizations to certify people, right?
Yes.
And if you go to one of these accredited organizations, and I'm going to just read some examples and see if you're familiar with them. The Board of Forensic Document Examiners, is that one of them?
There's an American Board of Forensic Document Examiners.
Okay. And are you also aware there's just a Board of Forensic Document Examiners?
I haven't looked into that one.
And Scientific Association of Forensic Examiners, SAFE?
I've heard of them.
Okay. And the International Association of Document Examiners, IADE?
I've heard
He's
of
not.
them.
And the
He's not
National
even
Association
certified.
of Document Examiners? Have you heard of them?
Yes.
And the Association of Certified
He's not even
Fraud
a
Examiners,
certified scam
ACLE?
artist.
Not familiar with them.
Okay. And all these are groups that provide ways for forensic document examiners to become certified, and they're accredited by this Specialties Accreditation Board, right?
Yes.
And the way that they become credited, certainly they have to pay a membership fee. You're right about that. But they take an exam, right?
I assume so.
And they're given a bunch of samples that are peer reviewed by others to see if they agree that their analysis are good, right?
Correct. That would be the process.
And they do an oral board where they answer questions and respond to like on the spot testing of their skills.
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. Is that, he said he doesn't know.
Well, so far, there hasn't been a foundation problem. Ask him whether he knows, which I think is what you're doing.
And it appears to me by your answers, you know about all of this process, right?
There's a lot of organizations out there that people can join, even people that haven't been properly trained.
Right. And by being certified by any of these organizations that are accredited, that's an extra security and assurance to your customers and your clients that you've been screened, you've been vetted, and you've been certified that you're good at what you do, right?
It can be.
And you've never, ever done that in your whole career, have you?
No.
You've chosen not to ever seek certification.
Correct. Never gone for it.
And you do agree that the
forensic science that you're involved in of handwriting analysis involves a lot of using your own best judgment, right?
Judgment based on experience and training, absolutely.
But your judgment, your analysis.
Yes, and I've been properly trained in order to know how to use that judgment.
Okay. And certainly you agree that not every single forensic evaluator is going to come to the exact same conclusion by looking at the exact same writing. Is that fair?
I don't know that I agree with that. It would, again, depend on how much training they've had. It depends on who they were trained by. It is possible.
So would you say your science is fully subjective and you can't get the same or experts to agree on the same thing?
Yeah. It's a shit science.
They would be so I can just imagine them as an old married couple, like Kathy, like, I told you, Kathy, we're going to the deli, and they already seem like they hate each other, like, after 30 years of marriage.
Yeah. And so I see it in the chat. I mean, regardless of shit science, I mean, getting one of these accreditations, certifications, do the tests, yeah, it doesn't make it not into a shit science. But this guy doesn't even do that to enhance his bullshittery.
Yeah,
Individuals aren't going to have the exact same opinion as me.
Sure. And it also depends on the quality of the sample you're given, right?
Correct.
And original is best, right?
Yes.
One copy later after the original is a little worse, right?
There's about a 1 to 3% distortion rate from an original to a first generation photocopy.
And do you know which generation photocopy you were given?
I have no idea.
You know how many times it was photocopied?
No.
Do you know how many times it was faxed?
It didn't appear to be faxed, but no.
Okay. Do you know, and you never got a paper, you got a PDF sent to you.
Foundation.
Well, these are yes or no questions. Overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. You got a PDF sent to you on email, right? You didn't even get a document.
For this document, that's correct.
Right.
The one you're examining? Yeah, the one you're examining, dude. All right, Nick, I'm going to send it over to you because I have to go get my ferals. So lucky for you, you get this riveting testimony.
Yeah. And I will start roughly in an hour because I need to eat and stuff. So send people over. I will start in an hour and we can listen to him up to lunch. And then I'm going to talk extensively of how much bullshit I believe this is. When even even Miss Lewis or Nestor or what, I don't care. Even she makes good points.
Yeah, I hate to be on Nestor's side, but she's actually making some good points. So I will be sending you guys over there. We'll be starting at, let's see, in an hour. So it is 2 my time, so 3 my time if you're with me. But the stream will be set up and tell you how much time for you individually.
Yeah.
Because I can't math. Bye, you guys.
Bye.